allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. I promise you one thing. It is going to be an interesting night. A night that you will be thankful that you are not missing. Share the broadcast. My brothers and sisters in UAE, Koolu and his criminal group, they decided to play propaganda with the most important news that a lot of you have been waiting for. They say not now. Abuja people, you are probably enjoying, or should I say, how are you enjoying the incursion of the Lagos Agberos into your city? Today, they killed one person, right? Because they were taking over the secretariat, NURTW, MC Oluomo at the National. In the next few days, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI in America, will be releasing some documents, 2,500 of them. That is just part one. There is another part where Atiku is holding the University of Chicago, Chicago State University is holding them in their blocus. And Koolu is also sweating under this. I have a guest tonight on that. Every day, even if they are trying to kind of sweep and trying to avoid the Bokwari, who said that nobody should call on him the moment he leave Aso Rock, right? And the revelations that are coming, the criminality that, especially the financial rascality that took place under him, the destruction of Nigeria economy by him, and all these revelations that are coming out, I am still wondering, why is Bokwari still sleeping in his house in Daura? Also, finally, right, as a summary of what you are going to be kind of participating in tonight, right? A storm, they say storm in the teacup is becoming storm all over the place. And when criminal politicians in Nigeria, whenever they kind of want to fight supremacy battle and the rest of that, they go on destroying everything destroyable. In Ogun State, it is dubious Dapo versus Oluomo OGD. Thank you. Share the Motideo. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you. From wherever you are watching from, this is Mayegun and this is live. A lot of you have been following the recent developments. I have a lot of questions that you probably would love to have answers to, or probably maybe not to get answers to them, but out of curiosity, lately, and kind of surprisingly, the government of the United States of America are kind of playing a catch and seek or something like that with Nigerians. There are many factors around what is about to unfold, including the political side of it, even in America. And the news is that they are releasing 2,500 worth of record of Tinubu. The initiator of this happened to be David Hundeyin and another legal, establishment in that US as well, compelling or asking the court to compel the FBI, DEA, the American government, and the American government in its entirety, to at least do this Nigerian one favor. They have no idea who this man is or was. To the point that some of the available records are showing that the Tinubu that went to America for education was a girl. All right. And Tinubu is saying that although you might actually have a problem with his own sex, whether it's female or male, that's not his own fault. However, he's also asking the court, he's asking the court in America to stop the Chicago State University from releasing the ones, I'm talking about the ones that are currently available. A lot of people are saying there is more. In fact, they said there is actually a ploy to keep that under wrap because Tinubu is more or less like an American asset in Nigeria, which is not going to do Nigeria any good. So all this suspicion and all of that, David Hundeyin, the main David, they went on to challenge the American government. And finally, the FBI, including all their agencies, they said they have at least 2,500 records, okay? Bank accounts, address, every contact is had in America on record. They will release them in that name, Bola Tinubu, whether it's male or female, we will know that. So that news came out and people were like, does that even matter anymore? Because Nigerian court, what would that change? Would that make them now say, okay, yeah, we now accept that he's a real criminal, and by so doing, okay, it can be, you know what I mean? But a lot of people kind of feel like it is of no use anymore, especially knowing the corrupt judiciary that they have in Nigeria. Others are saying, well, it is not over until it is over. So, according to them, they said FBI will comply with the FOIA request. All right. FBI has identified a total of approximately 2,500 pages potentially responsive to FOIA requests, this and that. FBI plans a processing schedule of 500 pages per month, with an initial release anticipated by the end of October 2023. Pursuant to FOIA exemptions and blah, blah, FBI will not confirm or deny the existence of responsive record. This is them in a court document. Right? Say FBI believes a briefing schedule is premature at this time. So they can't really come out and begin to tell you all they know about Tinubu and his life in America. Right? So, like others have said, right, this is going to be like it's a Pandora box. Okay? Like a Pandora box that a lot of people will be like, oh my, but to what end? What would that change? Well, I'm going to bring David on later tonight, when it's going to be with us for, briefly, basically on this same subject, okay? But while we kind of wait for David to come on and, there is also another development. Remember, like I said, Atiku is asking the Chicago State University to release every record, including if he bought something and the receipt is kept in the record, they should release everything. Pictures, everything that they know about that Tinubu, right? So they too, they said they will release them, okay? But they want to honor the, that confidentiality law or rule of their own institution, which means they will give Tinubu a chance to accept that they should release it, or the court should give the order. Now, in that same court, there's a scheduled hearing on that. I think it's scheduled for 13th or so of this month, which is tomorrow. Okay? Or I think, So they said Tinubu's lawyer, they now sent a kind of a secret email by requesting that that should be brought forward. Being brought forward simply means that they wanted the court, like they do in Nigeria, sure you get, without notifying the other party. Just ask them to give you a chance so that you can come in, do your thing, and then disappear. Somebody said it is today, right? It is today. So they said that this happened to be the email that was sent on behalf of Tinubu. Okay, so they said, I am contacting you on behalf of attorney this and attorney that. On September 12, they have a hearing scheduled at 1:30 p.m., which is today. They are requesting to move the hearing, if possible, to Wednesday, tomorrow, or as soon thereafter. Okay, that's exactly like they kind of were stalling. That's the issue. They were kind of stalling. So it's taking place today. So in response, this is what the court kind of responded back, just for the record, right? So they said, minute entry before the Honorable Jeffrey Gilbert, the court received an email from the offices of Anderson Parks and Counsel for Intervenor Tinubu, asking that tomorrow's hearing in this case be stricken and moved to the next day. The court docked that email on the CM/ECF system, right? Construing that email as a motion. The motion is denied. The email was not copied to any other counsel of record, nor was it filed of record, right? So tomorrow's hearing, Angono. Yeah, no, does it appear that any other council of record was consulted about moving tomorrow's hearing for the avoidance of doubt? No council or council staff. The Anderson Parks email was not authored by a lawyer. Should email the court without this. Anyway, to cut the long story short, they were kind of stalling in a way to further try to delay. Meanwhile, at the back end of it, when they asked Tinubu, he said, Atiku is trying to sandbag him, something like, box him to a corner legally by trying to expose what he shouldn't, because it is of no use. Atiku just want to destroy him and kind of ruin his reputation and all of that. Now just one university won't be that. The record is kind of already out. And I don't think the Chicago State University record is going to be as mountainous as that of the FBI. 2,500 pages. Sure you get? So he's stopping them there or stalling to stop them from releasing that, right? While there is a big chunk lion that is already about to devour him as well. Others are kind of feeling like, but Baba, know the door yourself, Charlie. America has a way of redacting some of these things. They will release them, but most of the vital information in it, they will just put them on black. And it can take you years again to have all of those redacted, to kind of opened up for everybody to read the real statement. So which is also going to leave more questions than answers, whatever this means, right? Whatever the request they made and the expectation of, David and their own legal team and all that, we'll wait and let that play out. So I'll leave that for when I have David on, if I manage to get him connected tonight, okay? However, there are other developments. This one happened just yesterday. It was a great news, and I genuinely felt happy that, all it's required to resolve the problem of this diplomatic role that led to visa ban, visa rule, and all of that with between Nigeria and UAE. All it required at the time was just one senior official to care and take it upon himself or herself and visit or kind of arrange a meeting, diplomatic conversation and all that to resolve what shouldn't affect the lives of ordinary people who try to escape from the failed leadership in Nigeria anyway. So when Tinubu left India, after all the drama of him being like my God or kind of like nobody, all that stuff that all of you bantered about at the time. So when he landed in UAE, I was like, okay, let's see how that goes. So I don't know what pushed them to go ahead and release a statement to the public by telling them that the UAE has agreed to lift the ban, but they said UAE has lifted the ban and it is with immediate effect. That was a lie. Remember what I told you, that the reason why government get jealous when information is not coming from them is because they love to control the type of information that is released out there so that they can control your thoughts and your conversation. It has always been like that until the emergence of social media, which has kind of, broadened the knowledge of people, exposure of people about things that the government now lost control on how to lie, use propaganda. I mean, why would you go out and say breaking news? UAE has lifted the ban and it is with immediate effect when that is actually not what happened. So we then waited for the UAE themselves to at least mention it in their own press release to talk about this. This is important to people. And do you want to know the genesis? The genesis of this was that when Nigeria was going down the drain under Bokwari and the Emefiole Central Bank, businesses businesses who are operating in Nigeria, you know that if you are, most of them that are operating in Nigeria from outside Nigeria, whether they are into your construction or telecommunication or even government contractors in Nigeria, once they finish doing all they are doing, their profits is returned back to their home country, most of the time in US dollars. That's how they keep the value and their profits intact without losing any much in this fluctuating Nigeria economy that these guys destroyed. So what happened was that some of these companies who have their own domiciliary accounts, like dollar accounts in Nigeria, they discovered that they were unable to withdraw their money. It's like, your account balance says you have a $4 billion worth of your money. Now you want to make a withdrawal, a transfer back to your home country, because that's how you run your business all over the world, right? Then the Central Bank of Nigeria started stalling, giving excuses until it became a problem. A big problem that eventually led to like a protest from Emirate airline. It's not just Emirate. And listen to me, this is not just even about UAE businesses. I'm talking about so many businesses that suffered this under Buhari. So in October 2022, last year, Emirates have had enough. It was no longer making any sense that they will be operating, but they can't actually withdraw their money. So they protested and cancelled all flights to Nigeria. And they didn't stop there. They reported back to their home country to help them recover their money from Nigeria. If the money is in the account, let us take our money. Sure, you get, it was a big problem. There shouldn't be a problem at all, if not these criminals who were like mismanaging Nigeria at the time. So this role now kind of led to the UAE government to now take a drastic kind of measure by saying they are terminating all bilateral trade with Nigeria. This thing I am telling you right now is not like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. This happened just a year, 10 months ago. It's not like it's long time ago. So that some of you who are currently being fed with the lies of Nigerians are the ones who caused the visa ban. They are doing courtism. They are doing drug. They are doing prostitution. They are doing this and that. That some of these paid agents of APC, Egbekegbe, are feeding you on social media. The real thing is that how could you be doing a business in a country for over a year and you have close to $4 billion of your money in a bank and you can't take it? They are telling you we can't let you take that out of our economy. It's going to crash Nigeria economy. And they were lying to Nigerians. And at the end of the day, when UAE intervened, right, they decided that, okay, there's no point in doing anything with Nigerians and Nigeria government. So at that point, they stopped issuing visa. They actually announced that they are going to stop issuing visa on so day. It's like saying in 3 months' time, we are going to stop issuing work permit, visa, everything for those who are living legitimately in UAE. There are Nigerians who live in the UAE, like me and you living in the UK, America, with our family, who are living legitimately, who have work permit. You know what I mean? Like any one of us, suddenly, that affected, not those who wanted to visit and go and spend money alone. No. Those who were living in Dubai, living their own life in that same city, or in that same country, a lot of them started finding it difficult to get their work permits renewed. By so doing, a lot of them lost jobs, lost their own, even lost relationship, lost family. You know what I mean? As you are facing hardship in Nigeria, so were those in UAE. So when the news came and they said, oh, it has been lifted, I was like, oh, that is so great. Like if I was living in UAE, I would be kind of so elated. It doesn't matter whether you like Tinubu or you don't like him. Only for us to discover that it is actually propaganda. So when the UAE government released their statement, they said there is ongoing conversation, ongoing discussion with Nigeria on bilateral trade. So Buhari that was going to Dubai, expo this, expo that you are seeing all the videos, pictures everywhere, he was just going there as a tourist. He didn't give a damn about anybody there. Like he didn't give any damn about anybody anyway. So when I saw that Tinubu was going there, I was like, that's going to be a big score. And because it is like going to have a direct impact in the life of real people. And it doesn't matter whether they are supporter of Tinubu or they are not. This is going to impact their life. And at that point, that's a great news. We didn't know that they lied. So the condition they gave them is that they should make a plan of how they are going to start releasing the money to Emirate airline. That is the conclusion. And in their way, they also said they are going to actually have a deal. They will invest $1 billion worth of investment in Nigeria. And that is what they are carrying about in Nigeria as a success. What investment? Multi-billion? No. They said if Nigeria is serious, they should start releasing that money. And that's what Tinubu said there. Tinubu told them that, no, we will release the money. We'll begin to release the money. So, okay, if you start releasing the money, all right, we will reinstate all of this. This is a good gesture. This is what should have been done when this whole thing started. Sure, you get? It's exactly what should have been done. Go and have a convo. Tell them not to kind of implement that visa ban or what have you. You work around it and you ensure that they get their money. And there will not be any wala. But they don't care about it because probably the money was just showing up there in number. It no exists again. Do you think they have $4 billion of Emirate airline in one bank account in that Nigeria? Dollars, not naira, dollars equivalent. Do you think they have that in that? And Emefiole and his other gangs, they won't have stolen it already. Do you think so? So Koolu meeting them and say, okay, we will pay the money. We will give you back your money. But, we are going to give the money back to you bit by bit. And they say, okay, that's fine. Then that should be the news that, okay, Nigerians in the UAE, there is already an ongoing conversation to resolve this problem, okay? So give us time. I have met with the leader of United Arab Emirates, right? And in fact, it was a very cordial conversation. It was a beautiful convo. And there's going to be a progress. With that, say that one too much, This Akuri Ungalailai. You remember that guy I told you name? That one called Ajuri Ungalele. Now we have discovered that he was the one who told 200 million Nigerians the news that it is with immediate effect. When they now held him and say, come and explain what you just said. Is it with immediate effect? Can I go onto the Emirate airline website right now and book a flight to Dubai? Can I phone the embassy right now and book a visa appointment? So when they asked him, he said, no. That's not what this meant. It's not with immediate effect. Talakuri Ungalailai, because that's actually the name. Akuri Ungalailai or Ungalailai. Whatever you want to call him. Listen to that chat.
Does this mean that from tomorrow, perhaps, applications won't be scrutinized, the restrictions are removed totally from tomorrow? Because the statement says immediate cessation with immediate effect. Those words were used. So does it mean from tomorrow, it is business as it ought to be as usual? Not forgetting the work permits issues as well.
Every agreement comes with mutual responsibility. There's no free lunch. What I mean by that is the notion that, floodgates open up and that we go back to business as usual, in quote, that is not what Nigerians should expect. I want to be very clear about this so that everybody understands. One of the major challenges within the bilateral relationship with respect to visa processing, with respect to Nigerians, being able to migrate to the UAE, for example, was the fact that there was a kind of a laxity on the part of certain visa processes or certain applications that were being made that created a lack of specificity and a lack of diligent evaluation with respect to who is traveling to the UAE and why they're traveling. And this is why we had issues of just a few, bad eggs amongst our people, giving a bad name to all of us, which was a major sticking point as to how we got to this point. So what we've done as part of this process is put in place new measures that would ensure that there is effective diligence done on the part of both sides. That's the UAE authorities as well as the Nigerian authorities in making sure that any Nigerian citizen who is seeking to travel to the UAE, for example, is being thoroughly scrutinized, not in a way that is prejudicial, not in a way that is presumptuous or negative, but in a way that ensures that, well-meaning citizens, people who want to go do business, or people who want to, get an education, or people who want to participate as active and productive citizens, in those domains, that they are those people, and that they're not people who are getting involved in drug trafficking, or they're not people getting involved, in kind of some of the other deleterious modes of existence that some of our people have engaged in when they've traveled abroad. So these are some that have to be sorted out, but not in that is whimsical, in a way that is systemic, in a way that is lasting, and that is part of what we are agreeing to.
Nuisance Lily. Nuisance Lily. Nuisance Lily. Nuisance Lily. Nuisance Lily.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt.
I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
Simple question. When you said with immediate effect, does that mean that Nigerians can begin to put in application for the UAE visa? One thing is that there is no free lunch here. We have to be like and then to go and then people also should not do drug. We should make sure that people who want to go to UAE are going to not to go do drug, and then and all of that. That's why I was like, in a nutshell, Baba, if somebody they talk like that beside you, normally, even if you know talk out, if you know kind of say it out, what do you go to say for your mind? Nuisance Lily.
Nuisance Lily. Nuisance Lily.
Means it's not just that he is a nuisance. People who listen to somebody like that should question their own intelligence, kind of, Right. I told you that David was going to be joining us tonight. Somehow he's running late. So he's likely going to join us still any moment from now. And then we can always go and treat this part of Tinubu upcoming expose. Now, going forward, to those of you who are in Abuja, you probably received the news when MC Oluomo and his gang took over your city, because it is going to be Lagos like Abuja like Lagos. That's what you're going to experience now. They shot one person and killed him. And they took over the place because the leadership. Meanwhile, just 2 or 3 days ago, okay, remember, it was Solomon Kende of Ibadan that started the park managers and all of that. That one, okay, very beautiful idea. And he built, bus stations and all that across Ibadan, which is to modernize the transportation system in Oyo State, okay? And at the same time, to further harness the chance of making more IGR directly to the government. Beautiful idea. Unfortunately, he had to make a murderer the head of the park managers. It can be like saying, now we did they take care of it at the time until that one can't overdue. Long story short, park manager idea from Oyo State got imported to Lagos State by Sanwo-Iku. We don't know why, but suddenly they said MC Oluomo and co. They can no longer be in charge of parks, so they appointed park managers, even though they probably never really existed or effective. But somehow it was an affront Then just a few days ago, they announced that, you know what? All of you go away. You are not really useful to us. Park managers. MC Oluomo, take your job back. So he became the head of the garages and parks in Lagos again. Omo Jagaban is in Abuja. You know? I mean, are they just going to sit back in Lagos and some people going to be... No. So they moved to Abuja, where they've been in Abuja for a while. So today, they decided to go and give you the taste of the medicine that they have been serving the Lagosians for a while. And it's just a tip.
The problem gogo. Ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ national union ni wá. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ lórí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Àwọn olórí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. So ẹ máa ṣe ẹ mọ́tò ẹ máa ṣe ẹ kọ́ máa wà ń bí kẹ́ máa wà ń bí kẹ́ máa rò máa tara yín kẹ́ máa ṣe lórí wa. Oga, go inside.
Hear that? So he was practically telling them that, oh, we are now in power. All of you shine your eyes very well. Just go everywhere. You go here, you go there, you hold that place, you hold this place, and romance yourself and romance. You know now, this is our turn. It's soup. You go begin to see them. They beat everybody for that Abuja junctions now. And you'll be wondering, who are these ones? All those ones who are controlling Maraba Market, all those popular junctions in Abuja, they go chase everybody away in the coming days and weeks. Just thought you should know. But, I mean, in case if you run into them. So I kind of have David on, and I don't know if we'll be able to have all the time. I thought we'll have about, half an hour. And I know you have another engagement in another maybe 15 minutes. So I don't know how we can run through this in that short time. How are you, David?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can't kind of hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Right, I can hear you, but it seems that the volume or the voice is so distant, kind of, or so distant.
I think it's the type of mic that I'm using.
I don't know if you have anything you have to turn up or something. Sorry about that. Anyway, sometimes all this can be really, So yeah, let's see. So I'm going to let David kind of fix the audio. The audio is so low, and I have some outlined, perspective of his. Outline the questions that will help us, take into account, his own perspective on this. So yeah, David, let's hope it's better.
I hope so.
It is so low. Still.
How about now? Because I'm
The
practically
hair
sure.
it's kind of, I think what happened is that the headset somehow, except if, oh, okay, then you might need to bring it closer. Sorry.
Does this work now?
That's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
More like it. Thanks, Baba. So how are you, David?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great. And just to quickly run through this, okay? What is currently trending, which is what I started with, is all mostly about your work, which has led us to this state today. So initially, we were looking forward to what Atiku is going to kind of unravel from the Chicago State University, based on what the ongoing issue, right? Then this part of your own FOIA or FIOA request, something, right? Which is going to kind of like drop a bombshell, something even bigger. So people are wondering that with the ruling from the Presidential Election Petition Court or Tribunal, which seems not to be interested in looking at any evidence at all, using technicalities and all that. So do you think this is going to make any difference at all? Or what is this all about? If you can just shed more light on that or join.
So the first of all, I should state that the purpose of all of this isn't to get a judicial outcome in the Nigerian court. I think that ship has sailed. I think
Your voice still seems distant. I don't know if the microphone can just come down and come straight, like, I don't know, something like that.
How about now? Is that better?
I know it's ridiculous that you have to put your mouth so close. I don't know why, but somehow there's a technique that you can just
it's a condenser mic. I don't know why it does this, but anyway, as I was saying,
it's better now.
So I should specify first of all that the point of this isn't to get a judicial outcome in Nigerian courts, because I think that ship has already sailed.
Right.
I don't think a Nigerian court is going to deliver justice. I think based on what we saw at the appeal courts, we know exactly where Nigerian judges stand and what Nigerian judges are capable of. So that ship has sailed. The point of this is twofold. First of all, this was a process that started even before the presidential election the tribunal took off, because this actually started in March when I first sent off this freedom of information requests. So myself, in conjunction with Aaron Greenspan of Plainsight, you might know of plainsight.org. It's a US organization that's basically, the purpose of Plainsight is to put public interest information into the public domain using FOIAs and strategic litigation. So in conjunction with Aaron, we had sent out these freedom of information requests to 6 US government agencies. That's the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, the Department of State, or the State Department as it's known, the US attorneys, and the IRS, that's the Internal Revenue Service. So basically, the idea was whatever information that these institutions hold about this person, whatever files that they maintain on him, since this person is now, this is now public information. This person is no longer a private citizen. This person at the time was a president-elect, so there's no longer any excuse for holding on to that information. Because last year, when I was researching him and all these other stories, the reason why I wasn't able to get hold of some of this other information was they said he was just a private citizen. Even if he's running in an election, he's still a private citizen. He doesn't have a public office yet, so there's no justification to hand it over. But now, okay, he has supposedly won that election. This was in March, so hand over this information, because now he's a public official. And initially, when they got back to us, I think in either late June or early July, the initial indication was, no, we're not going to give you this information. And these quote-unquote privacy concerns were still being invoked at the time, which obviously we disagreed with, because why are you invoking privacy considerations for a head of state, for the president of a sovereign country? So in collaboration with Aaron, I took this matter to court. So obviously Aaron is based in the US, so he was better able to actually do the filing, while I pretty much funded the entire thing from start to finish, which was expensive. But the point of it, I didn't really think much was going to come out of it. But I thought, look, I feel like part of the reason why Nigerian public officials get away with these things is because not many people actually try hard enough to call them out on it or to dig deeply enough. That okay, this thing is going to cost me money. It's cost me close to $1,000 up to date, and the only reason it hasn't cost me more is because we were able to get a lawyer who actually worked on it pro bono. Because if we had to pay a lawyer, that would have been potentially even outside of my budget. Would have been talking $20,000, $30,000, which is money I really don't have to spare. So fortunately, we were able to find a lawyer, and we basically sued these 6 organizations: the CIA, the FBI, the IRS, the DEA, the State Department, and the U.S. attorneys. And when they got back to us in July, what they said was this case potentially will not be, have any sort of resolution until potentially 2026. So that's the date that was bandied around at the time, 2026. But we still kept going anyway, even though we didn't really expect much to come of it yet. And then last Friday, I just come out of the shower. I've been in the shower for a long time, and I looked at my phone, and it was a message from Aaron. And I was like, I have very good news. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And then he sent me this document, which everyone now has seen, this document which is now on the screen. And I scanned through it in like 30 seconds, and I was shocked that, wait, they're basically handing over all this information. Like, where did this come from? And he was like, well, I don't know either, but there's a possibility a lot of it might be redacted. But on the surface, it seems as if they've basically just decided to capitulate and hand everything over. We don't know why. We honestly don't know. I would love to take the credit for it, but the truth is we don't know why. We weren't expecting this. This came out of nowhere. So
it means like it's going to be like a Pandora, like everybody is expecting. But at the same time, right? Haven't kind of experienced what Nigerians experience in the hands of the PEP, what we call them, right? So a lot of people feel like, what would this change? Like in the scheme of things, so to say, okay? Is it just to establish some certain, I don't know, like what would this change in your own view? I understand that the intention at the time was just for research purpose. Now you're about to get something huge. Even yourself will have to be busy for a while once this information begins to roll out, right? But before now, everyone thought this kind of information would help in getting rid of this illegitimate guy, right, in Nigeria, among other things. But with what they experience, would this, do you think, like, there's still Supreme Court there, sure you get. So do you, like I asked you the last time, like, do you think this could change anything? Or what would this change?
So I don't think the purpose of this is to change anything within the Nigerian judicial system, because I fully expect that the Supreme Court, which is presided over by Kayode Ariwola, will happily give a verdict stating that 2 + 2 is 95. Right? I completely expect that to happen. However, what this will achieve, if the information that we know for a fact is being held is actually released in full and is not distorted or redacted in such a way as to make it, unusable, if this information is put out into the public domain, what it will do is that, first of all, it will once and for all establish factually that these things which we have known, which we have proven, and which we have published for a certain amount of time now, that these things are in fact true. And that there is no, like, every sort of burden of proof has been satisfied. Right? Because up until this point, the excuse has been, oh, well, there was just a forfeiture. There wasn't really a conventional conviction, blah, blah, blah. So and so and so, one excuse after the other. But when you have the FBI releasing 2,500 pages on one individual, bear in mind that Pablo Escobar, his FBI file had about 2,600 pages in it. Pablo Escobar himself had 2,600 pages. Malcolm X had about 2,400 pages. So what on earth do they have on this guy that makes them have 2,500 pages on him? And bear in mind, that's just the FBI, right? The other agencies also have their own information on him. The IRS, the CIA, the DEA, the State Department, So, and they are complying with the FY as well. So what this will do is it will once and for all establish that this person is exactly what we said he is, first of all, and more importantly,
because I'm
any
so
sort of
sorry that, because of our time, yeah, because I still have like about 2 ones I want you to cover, and if okay, hang on, does that still stand that you need to leave like in about 6 minutes?
I think I can do like
You have
another
to
15,
extra 10
probably.
minutes just into it, and then yeah, we can into it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
that's
people
fine.
want to listen to you, right? They will feel like I'm going
Yeah,
to
that's fine.
be leading you, but they won't understand the fact that I'm struggling to make sure that nothing is left out. So if you give us that grace, right? Now I'm going to just push
Yeah,
this
sure.
to you, okay?
Yeah.
This issue of election and tribunal has further exposed, right, the vulnerability, partly the corrupt side of the Nigerian judiciary, and it has also exposed the validity or sort of the power of Nigeria constitution for real in practice, apart from all the fancy words they put in it, right? That if you have to put Nigerian constitution for real, so this judgment that happened and the way it all went is, further kind of proof that this 1999 constitution is going to continue to be the albatross, and is going to continue to be the one that will be cementing every corrupt process, no matter any effort to changing them. So what do you think, as somebody who is more vast in all of this? There are conversations now around a constitutional conference, a national sovereign conference, a conversation around Nigeria, starting with the people of Abuja that are also demanding judicial explanation on why the constitution says they are this, and then the tribunal turned it around and said, no, you are not. Question around the constitution. Do you what would be your own view around that? Do you think this is actually going to lead to that now?
So it's difficult to say, because one thing that this tribunal showed me was one of the most basic principles in law, in jurisprudence, is precedent, right? Judges love precedent. So ideally, when legal precedent has been established, judges tend to follow precedents, and it's very rare for judges to completely break with precedents and basically overturn something that a judgment that had been delivered before. But in the course of this tribunal at the appeal court, we didn't see that once, twice, three. We saw it like 50 times, like completely unprecedented stuff. So my fear is that anybody who is trying to use these things as precedents, right? For example, the Abuja indigents, who are now demanding for a governor and for senators, since they are supposedly classified as any other states in Nigeria now, I fear that what they will find is that they will take this matter to a court, and the court will say that, yes, the appeal court said that 2 plus 2 is 9, and the appeal court created a precedent that 2 plus 2 is 9, but this court is still going to rule that 2 plus 2 is 4 for no reason, and there's nothing you can do about it. If I know Nigeria very well, I think that's what they would do, which is why I've been very vocal about the idea that Nigerians themselves need to stand up and do something. Because at this point, the people who are in charge of Nigeria are not pretending to be law-abiding. They are not pretending to care about, abiding by any constitution or any law or any legality. They are not pretending. The people who are ruling Nigeria are actively raising a middle finger to you and telling you, what are you going to do about it? So I think at this point, the people themselves need to prove a point. However that point is going to be proven, it's not for me to prescribe. The people themselves have to make that decision. But the point is that the judicial system, as we know it now, is completely unfit for purpose. Nigeria, as we know it now, doesn't have a judiciary. That's the problem. So whatever the appeal court has done, I fear that it's going to be irrelevant in the larger scheme of things, because I feel like the judiciary doesn't even respect itself enough to even acknowledge that, okay, certain precedent has been set. I think Nigerian judges are completely shameless people who will say this thing tomorrow, say something completely contradictory the day after, and then they will look in your eye and tell you, I didn't say it. Right? You show them video evidence that they said it, and they'll say it's a lie, you doctored the video. That's who they strike me as, completely shame-free entities. So at this point, I don't consider Nigeria to be a country that has a judiciary, that has judges or justices. I don't consider Nigeria to be a country that has a justice system. So I think the people themselves at this point need to be forcefully making a point that you cannot treat us like cattle. You cannot treat us as if you cannot insult our intelligence, because that was my main takeaway from the PEPT, that the very basic intelligence of allegedly 200 million Nigerians does not even matter to these people. These people will insult you to your face. They will tell you that you are stupid and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think from a Nigerian point of view, Nigerians should be basically the ones making that decision now. That is that characterization of us accurate? Are we actually stupid, or can we do better? It's up to Nigerians.
We invested a lot, right? Apart from money, you invested what I believe your own freedom in bringing to the attention of a lot of Nigerians. And you are highly respected for that. And at the same time, you are highly loathed for that as well. For those who feel like you will do all of this for nothing, it's just, you won't be the first. In fact, the Legiwa, we have all of these people. And a lot of them are actually wishing what happened to those people to happen to you, so as for you to stop wasting your time. So, as an advocate, somebody who knew Nigerian system so much, and for time, and all those investments I just mentioned now, okay? As an advocate of what I would say, maybe due process, all right, which led to election participation and all of that. And after all of this, some people are saying that Nigerians shouldn't even have participated in the election in the first place. Others are saying they wouldn't have found out if they didn't, because they would still have done what they would do anyway. Then others are saying that the moment they are making those false announcements, after all that happened, that was the moment the real people who actually indeed wanted these guys out should have hit the streets. They didn't, all right? Then they waited, still following the due process. They waited on the judiciary to possibly set the record straight. Now, the same judiciary, partly right now, has sort of given them a middle finger as well. So don't you think it is already too late to start fighting the cheating after participating so fully to this point? Others as well, just before, as an add-on, there are others that are saying the people should, in fact, get ready for another election in 2027. If the court is gone, if the electoral process is gone, don't you think it is actually so late now to want to now fight what should have been fought at the infancy, like when it all started? Your view, David?
Well, so first of all, I think participation in the election itself, I think it needed to happen, because I think the people who run Nigeria, they're very good at setting narratives internationally. If young people had not participated in that election and they had just gone on, a rampage, on a protest or whatever, the people who are in charge would have found a way to frame it to the world as if there is this small group of people in Nigeria who are just anarchists. Because that's how they almost successfully framed NSARS. They framed it like it was a small group of anarchists who were trying to start some kind of color revolution and take over the country for no reason. Meanwhile, that's not what it was. It was a very broad-based, general youth protest movement. So when dealing with these people, it's very important to know how to sort of play the game as well. So there are certain processes that even if the end result of the process, we know what it's going to be. Even if obviously you win the election, they're not going to give it to you. You still have to go through that process, because if you don't, then they will turn it onto your head. Then they will make it look like, you see, there is an electoral process, there's a democratic process. Why couldn't you just follow the democratic process? They will gaslight you, basically. And in front of the world, they will twist the whole narrative and make it look like you are the aggressor. So it's very important to have to actually go through that process. That, okay, we should do a political movement, Abi. We've done a political movement. We should compete in the election, Abi. We competed. We should win the election, Abi. We won. If we didn't feel satisfied, we should go to court, Abi, which is the due process thing. We've gone to court. And now that we have exhausted all those things that the system supposedly has put in place for us to achieve what we want, we have now demonstrated to the world without any shred of doubt that the system doesn't intend to reform itself, and it's not actually possible to change the system from within. At that point, when people now hit the streets and basically scatter everything, you cannot tell them anything again. You can't tell them there's something they should have done. Because bear in mind, all of this started with NSARS, right? And at the end of NSARS, that was the Jedi mind trick that they used to gaslight everybody. They said, you should never have gone onto the streets. You should never have protested, blocked a road. Why did you do that? That does not achieve anything. Go and queue up behind the candidates. You people have numbers. Go and form yourself into political movements and go and elect leaders who will listen to you. That was obviously they knew very well they had no intention of actually letting such a thing happen. They were just talking rubbish as they always do to try and make you feel like, somehow whatever happened was your fault. And the Lekki massacre was your fault. There's a way you could have avoided it. That was what the point of all that stupid talk was. But obviously, without actually going through this process, we wouldn't have been able to prove that that's what they were trying to do, that they were just talking stupid talk. Now there's evidence. Now there's proof. Now you can't tell these young people anything because they've seen with their own two eyes. Nigeria has never had this level of voter registration before and voter participation before. And the way the system retaliated, first of all, did its best to disenfranchise as many people as possible, make sure people didn't get their PVCs, or PVCs were showing up inside forests, inside gutter, buried, all sorts of rubbish. And then on the day, they were shifting people's polling units like kilometers away where they know people won't have any chance to vote. All sorts of things. In spite of all of that, you still lost by a landslide. And then the so-called live electronic transmission, you turned it off for the presidential election. So at every step of the way, the people did what they were supposed to do. And the system, as far as I'm concerned, the system exposed itself. Because one thing about Nigeria that I've noticed I was small is that Nigeria will do horrible things to you, but will leave just enough of a space to give itself plausible deniability, so that you'll be accusing it and it will deny. Whoever is in power will deny. They will say it's a lie. It's not true. But for the first time, this election made it such that the people in power actually exposed themselves fully, where it's not in doubt who won that election and who was nowhere close to winning it. And then we saw things we've not seen before. We saw people, using TPEX on result sheets. All of this was captured in real time. There's dozens and thousands of pages of evidence which was documented in real time. So as far as I'm concerned, the real court wasn't the one that so-called Justice Amani was presiding over. The real court was that of public opinion, because people were watching what was happening in real time. The reason I say that is important is because the next time that there is any kind of spark or stimulus for young Nigerians to hit the street, we don't know what it will be. We don't know when it will be. Just like we didn't see NSARS coming, we don't know when it will be. What we do know is that it will come. When it comes, at that point, there's nothing that you are going to tell those young people. If you threaten them with weapons, well, you shot them before. They don't care. They'll be expecting to die already. You cannot tell them, oh, why didn't you go and vote? Because they went to vote. And you disenfranchised them, and then you stole their results. There's nothing you want to tell them again. So that's why I said it was very important to go through this process. So now that we've gone through this process, the system, as far as I'm concerned, the people who are in charge, they might be celebrating because they think they won a victory, but it's the kind of victory that I call a Pyrrhic victory, because it's a victory that in itself ensures that the seeds for your eventual loss have been planted. Whether they realize that or not is a different issue. But,
now, a final one, okay? Just before you go, okay, David, having experienced all of this now, a lot of Nigerians, across all ethnic, religious, tribal, what have you, decided they were baited. That's the word I use on this platform. They were baited, believed to make. They were made to believe that it was going to be different this time around. Now it's going to be a bit difficult to get to then kind of maybe a year or two from now begin to preach to them again that, oh, it is also possible now. Let's do it again. When the same system, the same rotten system that ensured that, they fostered disenfranchisement, like you put it, right? And what happened? which unfortunately, when all these things happens, right? Unfortunately, it further divide Nigerians. It was like an avenue to further divide Nigerians among those who said, we have told you, we saw this coming. How could you not? And then to those who are like, we don't care. You either take it or you leave it. So, David, using your own position among the young people, even among the older generation, would you not kind of subscribe to an idea where every one of us uses our platform to encourage a change in that system, starting with that fraudulent constitution before any election again, rather than get so boxed to the corner until another time presents itself that everybody will just be like, no, you can't do anything, you just have to go through it again? I mean, what do you think?
I agree. I completely agree. However, as I said, before getting to this point, we had to exhaust all the opportunities for the system to gaslight us first. So now, at this point, if anyone is pushing for a constitutional conference or for even more extreme solutions than a constitutional conference, I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. At this point, you cannot tell such people anything. You can't tell them that they're wrong, right? But it was important that we had to go through all of that first. Before now, at this point, I completely agree. Every potential solution beyond what has been tried is on the table now.
This system has to change before anybody is forced to go and participate in another charade, which is their trade. They are already planning towards next election anyway. You know that.
Exactly.
So why should anybody be part of that?
And why on earth would an election which is being administered by Bola Tinubu
predetermined
go against the interests of Bola Tinubu? That's ridiculous. We went through the same thing in 2019, where after people deceived themselves, we'll vote him out if he doesn't perform well. Buhari told you point blank, I'm not going to lose that election. Now, between God and man, I don't think anybody actually believes that Buhari actually won that election in 2019. But, we know how it went. So 2027 isn't going to be any different, which is why I'm not interested in hearing anything about 2027. As I said, it was important to go through what we went through in 2023 so that now, at this point, any solution that is proposed beyond what has already been tried is on the table, right? Up to and including the ones from the people that we don't even like, right? The people who talk about Biafra and all these things. Those solutions are on the table now.
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going, because they are those who are now pretty much like, what happened to your PVC now? And people like who invested a lot in educating the people and encourage them to actually participate. It's not just working to get people to participate. People actually participated. After all of that, those who rejected and said they will have predetermined the whole thing, like they are now pretty much like, that's why we never participated. That's why I asked that, won't it make much sense now for everybody to now kind of agree now that even if you want to have Biafra, Yoruba Nation and the rest of that, this particular system has to go first. And we cannot drop all the pretense and the division, right? And address the main thing where we can say, okay, you know what? David.
At this point, as I said, every solution is on the table because the Nigerian system has given such people the right to propose such solutions, right? So at this point, you can no longer accuse people of being Confucianists, of being anarchists, of being, criminals and separatists. You can't accuse people of anything anymore because people have gone through the prescribed system now. The only part of the system that hasn't been tried yet is the Supreme Court, and we already know what's going to happen in the Supreme Court. So, at least for the sake of optics, we'll go through that Supreme Court process as well. And when the system does the only thing it knows how to do and makes a mockery of the Supreme Court as well, at that point, whoever it is that is proposing any solution above and beyond all the ones that we have tried within the current system, you cannot tell them anything. I will never get up and talk down on anybody who proposes any of those solutions again, because at that point it should have been clear that the system has reached its limits. This is as far as you can go within the system. This is as far as the system will allow. So if you want to have a better life than this, you need to break out of the system. It's as simple as that. So except the system decides to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that this is this is unsustainable and it has to give concessions, which it's not going to, because it's not in Tinubu's nature. You know, Tinubu is like a rat. All he knows how to do is eat. He doesn't understand the concept of, you know, taking note of other people and concessions. He doesn't want. All he knows is power. And it's eat.
Whatever
so when
not do, more money will do it.
Exactly. So when they inevitably do what they're going to do with the Kayode Ariola Supreme Court, at that point, anybody at all,
all options is now on the table.
Be it the Constitutional Conference people, be it the NINAS people, be it the IPOB people, be it the Oduduwa Republic people, be it the Middle Belt, whatever it is, every solution is going to be on the table. And no one will be able to blame anybody but the system itself for having created this. Because, by the way, Nigeria is not the first country where such things will happen. No. After the system makes a mess of itself in the way it has done, like this. Sudan did very similar things. We know how the story ended for them, how it still ended for them, right? The country formerly known as Yugoslavia did similar things. We know how it ended for them and how it's still ending for them. You know, so unfortunately, you know, it's up to the Nigerian system itself. I mean, it's not me, it's not you who's going to make any of this happen. It's the Nigerian system itself, as far as I'm concerned, that is making all of this happen. So the biggest influencer, the biggest advertiser, the biggest motivator of all these solutions that are going to come out of this is the Nigerian system itself. It's not the people who are talking about it. It's the Nigerian system itself. So that's where we're at.
Make those changes. Right, David. I wish we have longer time. Okay, thank you so much. This actually is impromptu. I kind of ambushed you midway, so I'm going to let you go, and I will have another time with you as this whole thing unravels. Okay, you have a wonderful night, Baba. Thank you.
All right,
nice one, Baba. So that's David, and the brief explanation is managed to make with us tonight. I hope a lot of us who kind of participated in that, you have kept what you think you should keep, right? From all of that. Loaded. I'll cut that out at some point and then put that out there. Now, let us continue. I was talking to you about Ogun State, remember? But before then, talking about the judiciary, just to back up what David just said and how much they're like, you know what? It's about precedent. It's about them just making sure they legalize the legality and then see what will happen after that. Right? Same with the Labour Party chairman, Abure, a few days ago.
Labour Party members, the obedient movement, for their immense support towards the Labour Party. First, out of their support for the party, we have in our kitchen today a governor, we have 35 House of Rep members, and we have 8 distinguished senators and several House of Assembly members spread across the state. Our participation in the 2023 general election no doubt changed the political landscape in the country. All these achievements of the Labour Party could not have been achieved were it not for the support of members of the public, the obedient movement, and well-right-thinking Nigerians who genuinely wanted change for the country. I'm indeed very appreciative of their efforts, of their contributions, financial, their moral support, and they are coming out to even vote for the party in the presidential election, which we believe that we won. Irrespective of whatever the tribunal has said, I want to admonish and appeal to our people that we should not be daunted at all. Nelson Mandela, in his book, A Long Walk to Freedom, said, and I quote, that every step we take leads us to our freedom. Today, in the words of Mandela, I tell our people that every step that we take leads us to the taking back our country, to the taking over, to the taking back of Nigeria. Even the judgment itself, that is not even in our favor, is also a step towards reclaiming our country. It's a step towards making Nigeria to work. I'm therefore admonishing all our supporters not to be discouraged at all. We are preparing our papers. We are definitely going to move from here to the Supreme Court. We have protested, and they said, don't protest, go to court. We are in court. All eyes are in the judiciary. For us as a party, we are going to sustain this momentum. We also call on all our supporters to sustain this momentum, to take over a country and to reposition it for greatness is not an easy task. But I'm happy that we have started, we have put our hands on the plow, and will definitely not look back. And therefore, admonishing our supporters to remain committed to the party, to remain committed to the movement.
Labour and the rest of that. Also, Akin Osun Tokun, who happened to be Peter Obi's campaign director or campaign chairman or thereabout, also had this to say concerning the judgment too. Just an add-on as a full backup to that conversation with David, talking about judiciary.
That is not correct. As a matter of fact, the intention to appeal the judgment was made immediately after the session, not even a day after. So that is the case. Now, I don't want to take issues with the judges as such, because many of the things they were saying, were counterfactual. In other words, they say things that is not correct, that is inconsistent with the truth. My view of it all is that we're in a systemic crisis, and we are coming to terms with the implication of Nigeria as a failed state, on which all organs of government, are equally affected by the virus or pathogen of corruption and the lack of discipline and so on. People were raising the issue that our supporters were intimidating the judiciary. First, of course, is that many of those people doing the intimidation had no connection with us. We did not give anybody directive to go and indulge in intimidation of the judiciary. But the more pertinent question is whether the judges themselves of the Court of Appeal, whether they did not deserve to be intimidated, whether there was no reason to question, not to take their integrity or the integrity of their judgment for granted. And of course, I have no more, the evidence of what I'm saying, or the supporting logic, was provided by none other than the former President Court of Appeal, whose husband, Senator Adamu Bukachua, told everybody, to the hearing of all Nigerians and the international community, that he was in the habit of influencing the decisions and judgments of his wife, in relation to his colleagues at the Senate chambers. Well, if you could do that, if you can say, if your spouse, there is no greater authentic evidence you can get than a spouse who is saying this is what we do. Right? So who are we to not to take that into cognizance? And if that is the truth, will you take it for granted that the judges so affected in this Court of Appeal take it for granted that, look, they will do what is correct. They will act, without prejudice. Well, unfortunately, their former president, the former president of the Court of Appeal, she just resigned, she just left a few months ago, right? Had given us an indication as to the conduct or the behavior of the court under her. But for that matter, even the president himself did accept that the judiciary is corrupt. From what he said in a statement that, look, do you expect your judges to live in squalor and not be corrupt? So allegations of corruption levied against the judiciary, directly or indirectly, they have very square legs to stand upon. So you may question the tactics of President Buhari, but when he sent security forces to barge into the houses of Supreme Court judges some years ago, they uncovered tons of money, different currencies. So there is no basis for this unmerited righteous indignation to say that you are angry, as if there is no justification for people taking that position against you. But as I said, more importantly is that the implication of Nigeria as a failed state, as a country that tops the charts of full transparency, international index of corruption, the implication of that is that you don't expect anybody, if a country tops regularly the table of the most corrupt country in the world, why should you not accept?
This is me taking you to Ogun State. The story of 3 friends. According to the historians, 3 good friends decided to go into politics of enslaving their people, and the 3 of them have succeeded. The one in the middle was the first to go. That is OGD, Ogidiomo. I usually call him Benga Bewiri Daniel. He happened to be the former governor of my state. So please, it is very personal to me. In case if you are watching me and you begin to feel like, Mayegun, and he's a great man, no, family house, sure you understand. He's a former criminal that ruled my state as a governor. Then, after the one on the left, Oluomo Moshi, who conspired against his own kinsman, Oshoba, to bring the one in the middle, with the agreement that the one in the middle will spend 1 term, 4 years, and he will hand over to him. So he would then be governor. Some people said, the one in the blue kaftan, dubious Dapo, who happened to also be one of the oil thieves in Nigeria. So the 3 of them, they decided that they were going to go and enslave the Ogun State people. And they succeeded. So the first one, Benga Bewiri Daniel, when he came with his own abracadabra with his wife, Yeye Funke, the poor people of Ogun State, they embraced them. They embraced their damnation. Then at the twilight of his own governance, Ibikunle Omo Moshi, tí à ń pè ní Irokunle Omo Moshi, decided to wage political war against Bewiri Daniel. It was massive, bloody, and destructive as well. Demolition here, confiscation there, Benga stole money here, and you know what I mean? However, Irokunle Omo Moshi became governor, succeeded his old friend, Bewiri Daniel. Now, Ogidiomo became politically irrelevant in Ogun State from that moment. He was disgraced. It was hell. Seriously. That was the mission of his old friend, Irokunle Omo Moshi. Meanwhile, they said at a point, Irokunle Omo Moshi met with dubious Dapo. Iyen Dapo Abiodun. And the agreement then was, dubious Dapo, will sponsor and fund Amoshi's election to some extent. In fact, he bragged at a point that he gave Amoshi $1.5 million for his re-election in 2015, with the promise that Dapo will be senator in 2015. So by 2019, Dapo will be governor, and Amoshi will hand over to him. But towards the end of Amoshi's term as well, trailer passed their midst. The two jolly good friends, they became sworn political enemies. Tinubu came in to, they kind of played Amoshi out in APC, and Dubious Dapo became the governorship candidate of APC. With the help of the rigging here, the bribery there, and a sprinkle of poverty that has become generational in Ogun State, Dubious Dapo became their governor. It didn't take long before they started screaming. Of course, for every of these criminals that has managed to be in charge of Ogun State, in my lifetime, they've all had praise singers, vuvuzelas, born political urchins, political jobbers, who always are willing and ready with a little money to lick the asses of these criminals. When they were done ransacking the state, the people of the state are left in squalor. Poverty is like, if you want to see poverty, go to Ogun State. Somebody sent me a video, and a video of people of Ibadan that were robbing, they were robbing a truck. Removal of subsidy, you haven't been to Ogun State, Abi? Èmi ló kàn, Yorùbá ló kàn. I remember coming on this program repeatedly telling you that when they said Èmi ló kàn, you, because you are Yoruba, you are also joining them. Yorùbá ló kàn, Yorùbá ló kàn. Now, a lot of you will find out that when they said Èmi ló kàn, they are referring to themselves, their family members. They are not referring to you. When Gbenga Daniel was leaving power, he sold all the government properties at a cheaper price after using government's money to renovate them. Gateway hotels, gateway this, gateway that, choice lands, judges' quarters. You know, they had lands. They say, oh, this land is for judges. This land is for medical clinical. This land is for school. Gbenga Daniel sold all of them to his friends at a cheaper price. When Oluomo Omamoshi came in, you know what he did? He decided to start taking them back. All right? Those ones that are landed property, he took them back and he kind of awarded them to himself, his wife, and his own family members, as well as his political loyalists too. That means he took it from Gbenga that stole them, gave them to himself. When it comes to the other investment that are supposed to be earning money for Ogun State, gateway hotels, this and that, Oluomo Omamoshi locked them down. No earning for Ogun State, loss at loss, no repair or maintenance. It was just there wasting away. And some of the other things, Gbenga took government land beside the government house. Because he's governor, he took government land beside government house, and he started building the skyscraper hotel. It's going to be the tallest hotel in Abeokuta. And it was a government land. He changed the old documentation, just like Tinubu has been doing in Lagos. All the things Tinubu got away with in Lagos, Gbenga Daniel couldn't get away with all of them. So then Irokunle Omamoshi came, like I said, did exactly what Gbenga Gbewiri Daniel did. All right? And Dubious Dapo came. He is now an emperor too. Evo leva gbao agbani. But surprisingly, it was between Dapo, Dubious Dapo, and what do you call it? An Amoshi, that were having issue politically. We didn't know. Because when Dubious Dapo started sharing, the moment he became governor, all right, it was just like that to Amosun. Waka, fuck off, weary. I am the governor now. So he is now the new emperor who have to give people their source of living, including Gbenga Gbewiri Daniel. They gave him a senatorial ticket to go and represent, guess where? My senatorial district of Ijebu, Ogun East senatorial district, courtesy of just something to revive him. I didn't know that something has happened between them, because when Dubious Dapo came in, some of the properties that Irokunle Omamoshi took from Gbenga Daniel, Dubious Dapo returned them to him. You see that hotel they were building for 8 years, they abandoned it next to the Okemoson Secretariat. A lot of you who live here or who frequent Abeokuta, you will know this building I'm talking about. Gbenga Daniel's building there. Immediately, Dubious Dapo came in 2019. He released the property back to the Daniel. And they started construction on it. I think it was one of those properties released as well in Ijebu, where Gbenga Daniel's wife was building, or she built, in fact, not building, built a shopping mall, 5-story building shopping mall in a very small piece of land. Waiting can't change, because 4 years ago, this was Gbenga Daniel.
They are all united in the fact that what is going on in the state today is not sustainable. And they are all united. I mean, look at all the people who want to be governor, that you are the best person for this job. For the purpose of people looking at me, I want to see that what we are doing today is not about party. There comes a time in the minds, the lives of the people that they must stand up, notwithstanding their personal interests or party.
Here you go. So Gbenga Daniel is always considered as a don. It's got that horror. Baba, if you live long, your heroes go be villain. A lot of us who later come to see what Tinubu represents 24 years ago, these guys, we saw them as pro-democracy, like, great men, great men with vision. You know what I mean? You wanted to be like them. You were like, look at Gbenga Daniel, Do you understand? So, but it will be later that people are like, what mumu everybody for long. That is why they don't want to take it anymore. In case if you don't know, that same Gbenga Daniel threatened to arrest me. For those who know Mayegun very well, before all of you can't know Mayegun now, when it comes to Ogun State politics, I am a walking encyclopedia. There was a time that if I'm sleeping and you want to know something about what is going on in Ogun State, the government, the politics, the parties, the people, areas here and there, if you tap me and ask your question, I'll tell you. Until I decided to kind of widen it to what all of you now know today. I know these guys so well. Until when we realize what they represent, what they stand for. They stand for the further subjugation and impoverishing of their people. Every given opportunity, they deserve no respect. Gbenga Deboye said, until you put a panel a lot of people that we used to kind of pray for, it was during Oputa panel when they all of them started coming out to come and confess to what they did under Abacha, that the whole Nigeria were shocked. Like, this one an animal, this one. Meanwhile, probably if Gbenga Adeboye is alive today, it would be more shock that it may not. I mean, it would have released series of what do you call it? Of bombastic what do you call documents and all that on these guys. I'm talking about expose per se. Because back then it was like these evil people. So you did all this evil against Nigeria. So now do look at. So if we didn't know this Oputa panel, all these people will come out and contest election and still be leaders again. But Gbenga Adeboye didn't live long to come and see what Nigeria has become and the criminals that are running that Nigeria today. He probably will be crying in his grave like, oh my God. So I didn't see anything. So I don't know what happened between them. Until we started hearing the screaming in the middle of the night. They are demolishing house. Kilo happen. They said that a dubious dark ball, 3 a.m. in the morning, with over 200 policemen, they invaded the sites of Gbenga Daniel's wife's plaza, and they started the demolition. I'll show you.
Developer for the building revealed that the demolition of the 5-story building located at Foligbad Street, Ijebu-Ode, was carried out at 3 a.m. on Sunday. Mr. Lawal said that the building, which had been under construction since 2009, had the full approval from the state government and was scheduled for commissioning by the end of September before the demolition, adding that the building had no structural or quality issues. He disclosed that the third floor of the now demolished building was to house the Ogun East Senatorial Office. The demolition comes as rumors proliferate about a raging rift between the incumbent governor and former Governor Daniel, now Senator for Ogun East.
So Gbenga was there. I'll show you that one.
You want video?
Ọ̀tá ajé ti báyìí o.
You see that guy shouting, Otaje ni man you, Otaje ni man you. Everybody hailing him in that place. Then they do their own job, Neo. Nobody say they really care about Ile or anything. No. The OGD that just came there, if now 1,000 naira, at the end of the day, they go cut. But it's a case of the strongest we have to ride the weak. All those out man, you years tell what Eleyi is doing, all those things are just show sympathy. Show of sympathy that is kind of conditional. They're not saying go give them money. That's why his own voice is the loudest. So when they give them money, he will tell them, I'm the one who has been shouting, Otaje, Eleyi, how can you give me 2,000 naira? Me that I've been shouting for 2, Because the reason why I said that is, don't let that move you. Because the man they call Otaje, he visited them and it's a different reaction. So you will get what I mean now, right? When Dubious Dapo visited the place, he said, listen, everybody listen. Benga Daniel and his wife should be responsible. They are not above the law. They shouldn't be above the law. They should be responsible. And everybody standing behind him where they were like, yes, sir, it's true, sir. Because he himself go drop money. Benga Daniel that they want to demolish his wife's plaza. And they are there sympathizing with him. He will drop money. The man they are called, this is our governor. Otaje, our governor is the enemy of progress. So our governor is the enemy of progress. So those people saying the same thing. When the governor arrived, they were telling him that he did the right thing. Yeah, yes, sir. Abi is Benga Daniel above the law? No. Because himself go drop money. Situation of Nigeria. So when anybody tell you say they're in a relationship with you in Nigeria, a lot of you don't know that. You are not in any relationship, you are in situationship. Nigerians are not in relationship with their oppressors. They are in a situationship with their oppressors. And it is so unfortunate that they are the losers. But see if I am wrong. Dubious Dapo. Kilo resources.
I held a press conference and I said, we will not allow for this to happen in the state. If you build without approval, if you build beyond your approval, if you don't build in line with our regulations, that building will come down. Now, let's go to this that came. First, I can assure you that our physical planning team do not have the responsibility of unmasking who the owner of a company is. It is beyond their calling or their mandate. As far as they know, a company called Datskem had applied for approval to erect a 5-story building. That approval was filed in 2009, way beyond our administration. But sometime in 2022, a contravention notice was sent to the owners of Datskem, regardless of who they are. Nobody cares. You don't have to. In Ogun State and in Nigeria, we don't have a set of laws for the common man and for the VIP. That's not the way it works. There's one law for everybody. Nobody's above the law. And the law is not a respecter of VVIPs or VIPs. So they sent a contravention notice to Datskem, regardless of who the owner of Datskem was, which was not their priority. After they sent that contravention notice in May 2022, they sent a stop order notice to Datskem saying, you are in contravention. Stop working on this project until you come and correct these contraventions. They followed that stop order with another stop order. Again, they sent 3 stop orders. They sent a violation order. They sealed the premises. The owners of that camp, in their minds, must have felt that they were above the law because they were totally recalcitrant. It's marks of impunity. If the Ministry of Fiscal Planning sends you a contravention order, sends you a stop order, sends you a seal order, and you continue with the construction in violation of the safety of all of us in Ogun State. They send you a demolition order. You still did not respond. You begin to sneak into the building at night. You begin to walk there. You begin to attempt to grease palms so that they can overlook your contravention. But of course, the day of reckoning will always come. I want to salute the courage of the men and women of the Ministry of Fiscal Planning. After they had followed all this process, I understand that the owners of that camp now instructed their lawyers to go to court. Instructing your lawyers to go to court and filing an action does not interpret to a stop order on government. Anybody can file an action at any point in time. The action will even be an action that has no merit. That will be up to the court to decide. When and if the court decides that, then you can now say you are enforcing such action. So you file an action to stop government from carrying out its primary responsibilities. Of course, the law took its course. They went there after several attempts to stop this impunity. Without really, I couldn't care less. The truth is that properties are demolished every day by the ministry. And there's no song and dance about those demolitions. Just because this property purportedly belongs to someone who now say belongs to his wife. Now they begin to misrepresent that, oh, our government is doing this, government is doing that.
Sorry, Dako. Sorry. Mabino Okomi. Joe. Benga Daniel has now turned to because the property is allegedly to belong to somebody who now knows somebody that belongs to his wife. Now, Benga Daniel be somebody that belongs to somebody that is belong to his wife. Agbára Ọlọ́run tó gùn bá ń jẹ́ tọlọ́run ìjà yóò ní parí o fọ́dà tí ara yín dáadáa tí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe lè tí ara yín sí. And I hope nǹkan tó kọ̀ sí ìjà yín will further probably help those who have held in bondage in Ogun State. You need to go to Ogun State. And that's why sometimes you just feel like, where person could start from self. Like, when criminals like this are leaders and they have people because of what they get from them, they are walking up and down in squalor, in poverty. They can see them left, right, and center. They can see all the underdevelopment and all of that. And they are telling themselves, you see, when I was in Nigeria, before I understood these guys very well, right? People, it was like a cartel. The purpose is just get the money, share the money, but pretend that you are doing something so that people will think you are doing something. Bring katakata and say you want to come and give them new road, or you want to give them new medical center and the rest. Just keep doing that, but share the money. And there were people that were actually there that were praising, thank you so much on radio, on Noji TV, any small thing. Let us say thank you to our Gomino Benga Daniel. They have given the people of Aramoko, they have given the people of Abeokuta South to their own paracetamol supply today. Let us say thank you. Let us say thank you to the wife of our governor, our first lady, Yeye Olufunke Daniel. They gave poor people wheelchair. They gave poor people food, and they also gave them glasses. They also checked their BP. Let us say thank you since the emergence of democracy. Our people have never enjoyed Kini. Thank you, Ogagbenga. Every day, when it was the turn of Irokunle Omamoshi, there is no governor like Omamoshi. The level he has turned Ogun State. Omo, you need to go to Ogun State. They have turned Ogun State, blah, 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 blah. They even built an estate for Bokwari in Abeokuta. They call it a Muhammadu Bokwari estate in Abeokuta. Okay? Just to show, Omo, if you see, there is no governor like Amosu. Honestly, I swear. Meanwhile, they are suffering. They are living in squalor. The local government resources are being shared. They don't even see them. These guys are working on, I don't know how to describe it. I'm talking about working poverty, working on the underdevelopment. It can't be like they under course. Do you understand? Like it's like Ogun people or my people are actually like cursed with poverty. They glorify it. They appreciate it. Baba? And I was just there like, shut up your mouth. Who you help? Who you help? Eh? Do you know how many people that gave job to Ni? The job of extortion, extorting people and sharing the money. So when Ibekunle Omamoshi and the political abracadabra that happened at the time, the people that were saying there was never any governor like Amoshi, then they said, Amoshi is the worst governor because they were looking forward to dubious Dapo. Now, after 4 years, a lot of them are already saying dubious Dapo is the worst thing to happen to Ogun State. Meanwhile, there are others that are saying dubious Dapo is the best thing that happened to Ogun State. Baba, just go to Ogun State. I am from Ogun State, ladies and gentlemen. All right? If I put it on there right now, in fact, I'm going to do that. A quick one. If you put Ogun State on Google Earth, and then you decide to look at Ogun State from the satellite, all right? I'll show you. 24 years of democracy. Go everywhere. Go and see those local government areas. Go and see the health centers. Go and see their inner road. Baba, you go to say na curse this democracy is. In fact, it is actually a curse, this democracy. And there are those who are very rich. Benga Daniel is very rich for stealing Ogun State money. Irokunle Omamoshi. He built this massive house and he built underground under that same house in Abeokuta. And it was constructed by Julius Baja. Can you believe that? I mean, constructed by an international construction company. All at the mercy of Ogun State people. It was the same Amoshi that decided to give hand over 1,400 AK-47 guns to the commissioner of police in Ogun State because the man that he wanted to be the next governor of Ogun State didn't become governor. His former friend, political enemy, Dubious Dapo, was going to be the governor, and he didn't want Dubious Dapo to have access to those guns. So just 2-3 days before the handing over, Irokunle Omamoshi called and these were guns, they purchased for election. Sure you get? Irokunle Omamoshi called the commissioner of police to come to our Okemoson. To come and do what? Excellency, I have a gift for you. Guess what the gift was? 1,400 AK-47 guns with 30 million rounds of ammunition. Listen to me, this is not like, kilo wima yegun. 20 million rounds of ammunition. That's a bullet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The number of bullets almost handed over to the police in Ogun State. Baba, is more than the population of the people of Ogun State. The total population of Ogun State is put at somewhere around 6 million. All right? The number of bullets that the governor of Ogun State, that is the one they use, the one that is left. The ones that they don't know where to give to, and they don't want them to end up in the hand of this new emperor, Dapo. He gave that 20 million round of ammunition. Man, I'll show you. Ogun State, there are some of these paid Olori Brukus on social media. After they've given them stipend to sing the praises of these criminals, living in poverty and glorifying it. All right? Now, this is my search for them. Just say Ogun State. And you can see, check the satellite from the, see it from the, what do you call it? Wait for it to. Now, one moment. So once you begin to go down and begin to say, okay, let's see Ogun State from the satellite. The states where Obafemi Awolowo demand that remain the sage in the history of Yoruba land. The state that it comes from, right? Now, when you zoom closer, you begin to see enough of what I have been telling you, okay? You begin to see the sparse land. You begin to wonder, are those tar roads? They are not tar roads. They are mostly underdeveloped, inaccessible areas. Places where, you know, apart from those much populated areas that you can say, oh yeah, there are many, what have you here, right? This is the Ogun State where these criminals have been in charge of. Give me a sec, man, put on for 3D. Now, the point I'm making here is this. The people kind of defend them and they continue to glorify these criminals. They are also victims, though. But now that they, as usual, when they fight, right? Their fight is always about destruction and destruction and destruction. Okay? So when they finish their destruction, they go back to the same set of people, kind of sway them here and there and say, oh, it's going to be different this time around. Let us go this way again. That's why I hope that what David was proposing earlier will actually come to pass. It is going to save a lot of you from this generational damnation that put these criminals as those in charge. I'll save the rest of my info because it seems that we have shared enough tonight. So I want to take calls. Okay. So I'm going to go and get go and make some extra cup of tea now. Then I will open the line. The number is on your screen. All right. You can use that to be part of this conversation on the phone. But before all of that, okay, take a moment and like the broadcast. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And when I get back, your call may be the one I'm going to pick next. Don't go anywhere. So I have a caller, by the way. Hello there.
Yes, so hello, Mr. Mayegun. Long time.
It's been a while.
This is Olaton. Yeah.
The lady, our lady Olaton on the seats now. Yeah. Say, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm fine, from Texas. I'm fine.
From Texas. Beautiful. Please go ahead, man.
I tried calling you the other time when you, I think after the election, I wasn't able to get through because I was so, after the result of the election, this one that this charity they did. And I'm like, what is happening? You know, like everybody was just confused. Everybody went into a gloomy mood. It's like, we don't even know what to do. And this man is just like that. Then again, my concern now is, what is the essence of this America? Because I look at them as a Kenyan, and they are trying to kind of use Koolu as Komalu, just the way
they have compromise on him, ma. So everything that America wants, they can be rest assured that he will approve, even if it's going to be to the
absolutely wrong. Yeah, we can see, but why I'm so bothered is that we can see the way they are treating Trump now. That's supposed to be a president, a former president of America. If they wouldn't take that shit, hide there, what one promote? Who does that? America should be a play. I mean, I'm so disappointed at them. Jesus. So what do we do now? Now that
manipulating all of us at some point, but well, they should try. We're waiting.
Because now they want to release all these exhibit and whatever. Are they now going to? My question is, Shewoma try lati ba Tinubu cover up ni or what? Will they do that when they can't do that for their own president? Or they are trying to avoid the situation of France, or what? Komada between Nigeria and France. There's Bushan try lati wo bit of her safe face, see, because I'm so bothered with that America. She won't first so we convict you. Abi gbogbo nkan ti David Hundeyin ni tele is not right or what? I don't really get it.
Well, time will tell. And they will be releasing 500 pages every month from October. So maybe when they release the first one, that will answer a lot of our questions, you know, like our suspicion or our own whatever. So we'll begin to now say, okay, it's getting clearer where this is actually headed, and we can easily call their own bluff. The moment we sense that share wine in one, Kilele, what be this?
Yeah, we need to call their bluff because what did Panama do? Kini bobo to one Panama in Norwega ton make sure kuku. Then Kini nkan she. They do not like them. Like, oh, I mean, wrong now. Our own country, gbogbo image wa kawa gbesi orí Exco in Pablo Escobar. And you guys are ratifying it. You are endorsing him. You are promoting him. Yeah. Imagine telling us like he's going to come and ring the bell in NASDAQ.
The closing bell. It's going to ring that on the 20th of September, according to them. I mean, I would expect so many Nigerians to actually show up and say, no, how could you let this happen? But, you know,
that's what I expect from us. Show that
displeasure. All those who are in New York. Somebody sent me a message, Mark. Remy is she was in New York yesterday or today. I'm not so sure that they were asking people to show up to come and show solidarity. I'm still waiting for the video to see how people actually welcome her in New York. Yes, she's still in America right now.
We are in trouble. Because this can be Chile to Mama Chile. I don't get it.
Mommy, thank you so much. Let me take another one, ma.
Thank you so much.
It's really good to hear from you. Very good to hear from you.
Bye.
You stay safe, ma. All right. So I have another caller on the line here. Hello there.
Hey, Mr. Mayego.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, bad. Yeah, not too bad. How are you today?
Very well. Thanks for asking. And
yeah, I love listening to you.
Thanks, man.
My wife thinks you are a good storyteller, but I think you are a good researcher.
Oh, thank you. It could be both anyway, because if everything's, I mean, if I sound like a good researcher or a good storyteller, I mean, a good researcher should be a good storyteller if it's your story. So I think it could be both. Thank you.
I think it's our story.
Yes.
And I think my advice is going to be that if you got a bachelor's degree, please, if you have a bachelor's degree, please, I want you to do a research proposal to any of the university in Scotland.
Okay. It's all about time. I've wanted to do that.
Your topic of research, don't base it on just Nigeria because they're going to deny you. Base your topic of research, right, broad on ECOWAS.
Right.
Then while you're doing the ECOWAS now, you make Nigeria as the main focal point.
Right.
Because I think with what I've listened to you, I've been at your program for so long, right? And I think as an international and as a criminologist, right? I think you got the potential to have a PhD.
Right.
Are you to become a professor in your field of knowledge? You are so knowledgeable when it comes to Nigeria, when it comes to Africa.
Thank you.
What I appreciate about you is your ability to do research, to research on all your program before you come on board.
Yes.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for acknowledging that, by the way. So it means I have to keep it up and improve on it until it's actually become so normal.
I'll be glad. And talking about the Nigerian problem, right?
Yes, sir.
I was on Arise television the other day. I think yesterday when Daily Fatin Roti, I think it's something you know very well.
Mm-hmm.
That was saying that Nigerians that come abroad, right, run away from Nigeria, they're all cowards. You know what I'm saying now? Because we should have stayed behind and fight the system. I think.
Sorry to cut you short, right? Do you know I am actually working on a particular program that I want to introduce to all of us here. It's going to be, if you are a Nigerian, whether you are still Nigerian or you have become an American or you've become whatever you've become, right? Yeah. I want people to come and share their story. What really prompted you to that day to say, this is it. I've had enough. I'm leaving this country. So when people begin to tell their different stories, maybe people can begin to connect.
That's going to be excellent. Look, myself speaking to you, right? I've been in the UK for 40 years. I'm in Nottingham. I'm Chris, right?
Chris, thank you, sir.
Yeah, aka Besu, yeah. I've been here for 40 years, right? But in the past 30 years, before Buhari came to power, right?
Yes,
I've always spent more time in Nigeria than I spent in the UK. But from the very first day Buhari came to power, can you believe I've not been to Nigeria up till now?
Why?
Because my lifestyle. My lifestyle,
are just saying.
Wow. Yeah, my lifestyle and the situation of things, right, will not allow me to go to Nigeria because it's either I lose my life while in Nigeria, if I'm not kidnapped, because I'm one of those guys, right, Mayego? I will leave Lagos, right, 4 a.m. in the evening, traveling to Delta. I'm an Yoruba man from Delta.
Yep.
But I grew up in Yoruba land. I was born in Ibadan. I've only speak Yoruba in my life. I can't even speak my language. I speak Yoruba. But I've always traveled to Delta, right? I leave Lagos sometimes 6 o'clock in the evening to travel to Delta. I would drive.
You know, the daredevil. Like, are you?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have 2 lives? How dare
I don't have 2
do
lives.
you have another life you save somewhere? You're the kind of person, right?
No, the night is more safer than the day. Then, when Buhari came to power, I can't try that shit. So that's why I never went to Nigeria.
See?
So I just said myself, right? It's either I remain alive or if I want to kill myself, go to Nigeria. You can be daredevil. I'm very nocturnal. Even while I'm in Lagos, every time I'm in Lagos, right? Yeah, I go out.
Do you feel like it was one of the best decisions you took without regrets? I mean, looking back now, 8 years after, that you have now, like, you know.
Without regrets, yes, without regrets.
You have no regrets.
Yeah, I have no regret. But now, I think I'm having, but the only problem I'm having now is that the Labour Party that people think is the redemption party, right?
Yes, sir.
Have not been a very good opposition. All Labour Party is banking on, right, is becoming president. But look, you have to be an opposition, a viable opposition before you become a president of Nigeria, before you win anything. You know what I'm saying? Look at the tribunal thing that just took place now, right? Everybody's coming. If you look at all the television channels, right?
Yes.
APC have paid the television station, right, to moderate, to bring their people, right, to come and explain the outcome of the election tribunal, right? Labour has not come out. None of their lawyers has come out to explain what really happened, what the judges, and nothing like that.
Just and if you look at the judgment, politicians coming up to come and start.
Yes. And if you look at the judgment, right? Yes, it's not like Labour Party bring any evidence. They brought evidence, but the court refused them to present their evidence.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's coming out to explain to anybody. So to me, Labour Party is not being a very good opposition. You know what I'm saying?
Let them forget about this. They thought that Labour Party would be like the Malema Party in South Africa. Like they will always be there calling these people out.
Yeah.
Even if they are just 10 people in the house, they will continue to always, right?
There's nobody like that. I'm going to tell Labour Party I'm on the bit yet, right? But let's forget about this. Let's forget about this election. It's gone. If they go to the Supreme Court, it's gone. There's nothing they can do about it. But the two-third about the 25% of Abuja or whatever, let's forget about it. It's gone. You understand what I'm saying? Because Tinubu, the APC, right, has managed, right, to establish themselves. Right? Even all what they are saying that some documents from America and all these things, right, it's all been doctored by the CIA or whatever, because America got their pipeline project from Nigeria to Europe, right? They need to maintain that project. And Tinubu can secure that project for them. They spend more than $25 billion to lay the pipeline, the gas pipeline. Don't forget, America is involved. You understand what I'm saying? So there's nothing Nigeria can do about this, right? When that report of the
records they want to
it's going to favor Tinubu, they will doctor it. Let's forget about that nonsense.
Chris.
You understand what I'm saying? So Mayego, I've been very glad to be a part of your program.
Me too.
You've been a very center point, right, of educating us about Nigeria. Though I know about Nigeria more than you, what you think. But
I managed to captivate all of you to sit down and see somebody who can piece the whole story together and make a body of it.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much, Chris.
No, I appreciate you very much. About your Yoruba Union, right? I'm going to pay about £200 to your PayPal account tomorrow for that guy that never had legs. You know, the guy you put on Facebook, on your channel, that never had no legs, and the guy's legs were getting rotten.
I know.
I was moved by that, right? I saw that yesterday.
Guess what, right? Last year, from the beginning of this year, we're able to touch the lives of over 6,000 school children, right? Not only that we gave them school uniform, we gave them books and all that. We had to clear debts like school fees or even pay for some others because the ridiculous money that is they're asking, that is denying our little kids, right, from accessing at least any kind of education that is available. You know what I mean? It's so bad. Yeah. 1,005, 2,000 school fees, 3,000 unpaid. And
I know. Is that bad? If I show you my Lempi account, right, in 1 month, I've spent more than £1,500 to people in Nigeria.
I believe you because I'm also in that same shoe. But thank you.
And
so much.
Finally, have you got the latest news that the Seriki of Lagos has been indicted? Emirate implicated him. I
was surprised though. You know, I'm doing another thing. Another thing I'm actually working on behind the scene. Until the day I'll come here and I'll be blazing. It's all this new latest discovery on this Emefiole. Are they real or is this Dasuki?
No, it's real.
Are they? Well, I haven't figured all of them out. I've been seeing all the news, by the way. I haven't.
No, it's real. It's real. It's the abuse of power. Listen.
Yes, sir.
You see, if you know the Fulani hegemony, right? If you are very close to them, right? I've told you before now. Remember, I came on your program years ago, right? That I told you I know Buhari very well. He used to live in Jabi Road in Kaduna. His in-law, Nasiru, was my very good friend. I used to visit Buhari. I know Buhari very well. One on one. I know Buhari very well. He's a very shy
grew up in Kaduna.
Yeah. So I know the Fulani. I know the way they behave, right? Everywhere there's an Hausa people, right? There's a Fulani man that's going to be their governor. That's what they call them, the Seriki.
Just have to be.
That's what I'm saying. And all they do, right, make up to the president. Remember when Buhari was in power, right?
Yep.
Any Fulani man you arrest, bandits, right? The police, we have to release them immediately.
That's
Remember,
right.
Edo State Governor Obaseki talked about how a Fulani man killed a family of 5 and escaped, and they caught up with him at Uromi, right? And they got the call from Abuja that it should be released.
It should be released.
Yeah,
I remember
so that's exactly what happened, right? When Emefiele was in power. The problem is that Emefiele now became the scapegoat because he's changed that money. That doesn't favor Tinubu. That's Naira changed. That was why Tinubu is locking him up.
It's the guy they are using as a scapegoat and all that. But
just like
like you discovered that's true, right? When I gather all of these things together, right, and I begin to drop them, you probably will be sitting in front of your TV there and say, "Oh my God, he's finally talking about it." Now, then you will be like cross-checking and fact-checking too. I'm working on it.
You're right. Yeah, so it's a pleasure talking to you, right? I've always, my wife is looking at you laughing, say this Mr. Storyteller, this Mark, thanks to
just say me well to her, okay? Mother,
and that one that say, at the same time, when they play it, right? Outside the video, my wife normally dance to it. She normally dance to it.
No, tell me, is that a favorite? I mean, is that a favorite among all the?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Even my daughter was like,
oh yeah, I'll look for it. Thank you so much, Chris.
Àtisẹ́tẹ́ àti ń parọ́ tipẹ́ àtisẹ́tẹ́ òtítọ́ òdìmú òdodo òsì mọ́ àtisẹ́tẹ́ kágbádé fálárè àtisẹ́tẹ́ kágbẹ̀bí fálárè àtisẹ́tẹ́ adájọ́ ń parọ́ torí owó àtisẹ́tẹ́ òtìlú ń parọ́ nítorí ipò àtisẹ́tẹ́ èdò gbówó ń tẹ́ àtisẹ́tẹ́ ìjà ń jà aráàlú.
Si ni pé gbòòrò ti di cropper everywhere ti propoye ace si ni pé gbòòrò ti di cropper everywhere ti propoye ace si ni pé.
Hello there.
Hello, Mr. Mayegumi. How are you, sir?
Hello, ma. How are you?
No, it's a sir, not ma. I'm sir, not ma. Sorry.
You on the feminine voice. Bless you. How you doing?
No, this is the Dr. Agbede. How are you?
Dr. Agbede, Etuman do disguise more area of specialty.
Oh, no, disguise.
I mean, I don't know.
No, disguise. Okay. How are you? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Now, let me first of all thank David Undeyi. Yeah, that man, in fact, is very good. Yeah, he spoke well, and I just thanked him, for his job done.
I can hear you clapping for him there. You are very impressed, right?
Yes, but he should not be troubled or baffled. He should not be troubled or baffled that why FBI, CIA, or DIA or RS releasing the document right now. So the big question is, why do they do it right now? Why right now? That's the question. Why right now? The question.
When they first told us it was going to be 2026. So why now?
God bless you. God bless you, because do you know who is Joe Biden? Joe Biden, the current president of America. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. The question that we should ask Joe Biden right now is that why is Joe Biden ignored the report? The report that was given to him by Stacey Abrams, because Stacey Abrams was sent to Nigeria to lead the U.S. delegates for the international observer. So the report that she wrote, the report is even worse than the one that the EU submitted.
Really?
EU, the one that the EU submitted their report as an international observer. The one that Stacey Abrams wrote, our findings is even worse than that of EU. So the question is, as of today, why do they ignore that report? That report supposed
now.
God bless you. So that's the question we should ask. Well, that's the question. So politics is playing now underneath. And the major cross matter is Amina J. Mohammed. I suppose you know her very well, correct?
I do. The permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations.
In fact, I can even clap for her, but she is doing exactly what they sent her to do there. Exactly. I can't lie to you. Exactly. It's true.
And
he's the one maneuvering
just to fix things for them, like she did for Buhari through the time, because she's the Miss Fix-It of the United Nations for Nigeria.
God bless you.
I kind of have an idea.
God bless you. Yes, God bless you, Mr. Mayegu. You are very intelligent.
Yes,
so she's the one that liaised between Tinubu and Biden, so that to soften Biden's mind, which is supposed not to be. So the part of the solution that people should break.
Dr. Agbede, all of you are living
in
America.
Problem. Say anything,
sir. All of you are living in America who kind of feel slighted. Those who have made it public and those who haven't made it public or make it public, yeah? a lot of you have this demography of voters in America that even the American politics recognizes you. So in your own way, yes. Do you think this whole thing probably now wait till they hear from us from the grapevine Bidato that somehow this release is also tailored towards giving Nigerians in America what they believe they wanted to see and keep what they shouldn't see from them and control the narrative all towards 2024 because they don't want to be held responsible for legalizing Tinubu in Nigeria and asking you to vote for Biden again in 2024. There could be a backlash. Do you see that quickly, sir?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. So and that's why I said people. But when you mention the word slight, you are correct. Even Dr. Susan, everybody will just say, Dr. Agbede, what is happening now? What is happening now? It's okay. Even if you look at my website for the next year, www.dragbede for United States Senate 2024.com.
Really?
The front page, yes, the front page means reviving collapsing nation, America. So people in America now, Donald Trump, everybody, Joe Biden say, okay, that is they already acknowledge that Dr. Agbede already revived America or about to revive America. But I should first of all go and revive my country first. First. Yes. No, just Google it, please. Google it. www.dr. No. Dr. Akinyemi Agbede. Agbede for United.
Oh, for United States Senate.
For United States, there's a Senate 2024.com.
Okay.
I'm going
to look forward to that, sir. And I wish you a great one. So somehow, you still want to do it, even though they said that you should go and revive your own country first, something like that. Or you're still going to go ahead and do both?
Yeah, they gave me their plans, which is right now classified. That was why I was able to head up. Yes, classified. Yes, they gave me their backing everything because this is politics. Politics is being played here. Because it's being played here. So yes. So that yes. So that was why I said that. Why did Joe Biden ignore that report? Report that says April. I said yes. Because that report is even worse than what the EU reported. Yes, I can tell you. So please, people now.
We can all. It's like there's going to be a lot that is actually going to come to light too in these coming days and all that too. We hope all of you in the US will help mount the pressure. When they come around you, help us discourage people from going there to validate them. So let me take another one.
Finally, please, sorry. Finally, people should call Sean Hannity because this is an opposition. Sean Hannity on 888-369-4762 or 818-377-5300. His name is Sean Hannity. And Nigerians should. Yeah, Sean Hannity. Yes, Sean Hannity is very popular. So people all over Nigeria in particular, they should focus all their complaints. They should follow the true Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity knows how to penetrate. God bless you all. Thanks so much.
You too, sir. Chief Agbede, Dr. Agbede has dropped the usual intel. If you heard that, you can make do with whatever you can. Hello there.
Hello, my good general.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good. This is Odogu. It's been a long time.
Odogu? Now, boss name. Don't be small boy name. How you doing, Baba?
Good. I'm calling from Houston.
That's Odogu from Houston, Baba. Yeah, go on. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get something disconnected. Yeah, go on, sir.
It's been a long time I've been trying to reach you. But I have two information. Let me just summarize. I have three, but let me summarize it. That is very important.
Please, go on.
Now, I have an intel. I used to work for that government and in the villa. I have a very senior government official who told me a few days ago that the touts and arboros in Lagos are having what is it called? Diplomatic passports right now. They are all gathering around and getting diplomatic passports since this government. And this guy said, since the inception of this government, the number of diplomatic passports that has been issued outnumber the number of diplomatic passports that has ever been issued in the history of democracy in
Because
Nigeria.
it's not something they just issue anyway. So they are like mass producing that right now, giving them to criminal. Go on.
They are and their concubines and their girlfriends, and they are all using them for only God knows what. Now, that takes us to what David Hundeyi said about drugs. Many of these guys are using them, and they are using private jets moving towards and around Africa to do their cartel businesses. This is one. The second one, if P2B is listening, I want him to just pay attention to this.
To this.
If anybody who knows P2B, they should take this information to him. I couldn't release this information before now because the person who told me about it was still in Nigeria. So I couldn't release it. So I waited until the person left Nigeria. APC or people in APC went as far as getting somebody to claim that P2B raped her. They asked this woman happened to work, in the same organization with P2B. I don't want to mention the person's name. So they invited this woman, promised her heaven and earth, just for her to say that P2B had,
sexual allegation or something.
Allegations, all those kind of things. The woman think and it didn't no agree. The woman refused. She couldn't do it. So ever since then, they started threatening her because they felt it was going to leak. She's aware of this information, but I told her I can only talk about it only when she leaves Nigeria.
She's no longer there.
So I just want to bring this information. Doom is coming because sometimes we don't understand what we are in for. Doom is coming. You see that music where you play, Aturege, that is what every Nigerian should be playing very soon.
That means we have overdone it. Now we are going to regret it. Now, everybody that is actually giving the right, the right judgment to the wrong people, wrong judgment to the right people, people who are selling off their rights here and there. Look at us. We have overdone it, and this is us. We are doomed. You are right. Atishete.
Oh my goodness. Atishete is coming in Nigeria. And it's it will be sweeping from one family to the other, from one family to the other, from one family to the other. Then, another one, another one I want to mention is, people we are talking about Boko Haram, coup. If any coup happens in Nigeria right now, let me tell you the people who are going to be responsible for that coup.
Tell us.
You see that Shetima and Gumi will be running that coup. Those two people. And the coup, unlike in other African countries where military men take it, Boko Haram will be running the coup. So it should be between the devil and the deep blue sea. This is the information that I have from a very reliable sources in government. They say Nigerians are
Nigeria is unraveling. Odogu, we all know that. And like David said, if they are smart, they will stop all the nonsense they are doing now and start the right thing before it is too late. But I don't think they care. They don't. Thank you so much. Odogu, no be guy's name. Is that not how we say it? Odogu no be guy's name. Anyway, if you are still watching, all right, you can still take a moment and like the broadcast. If you haven't already, that is your own offering. Offering is that you like the broadcast and then you continue doing your chatting and all of that. Even if you're not abusing yourself in the comment section or praising yourselves, don't forget to pay your offering here. Hello. Oh, so sorry that the connection is probably not as great. I'll give this caller a few seconds and hopefully they will connect. For some reason, it is okay. I'm just going to take this. Another one. Hello there.
Hello.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hello. My.
Yes, sir.
So nice to hear your voice.
It
First time
is
caller.
wonderful to hear yours too.
I've been listening for years, but this is my first time of calling.
Oh, thank you. Finally.
Yes.
How are you?
Finally. I'm very well. My name is Adolphus. Adolf.
Adolf or
Yeah,
Adolphus?
Adolf, but
I'll stick to. Sorry?
Adolf, but not Hitler.
No, I know it won't be that of Hitler. Even though I know the people will say maybe the world need another one, but no, the world doesn't need another Hitler.
No.
The world need many Adolf. You sure?
Yeah, I'm calling from London. Yes.
Bless you, Baba. Thanks for
Right.
Thanks for that. Go on, please.
I've been hearing you. I've been listening to you for a very, very long time, and I'm so happy because I mean it's not everybody that can do what you're doing. So we thank God for somebody like you and many of you that are doing this great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've seen what happened in Nigeria. We've seen all the rubbish, the court election, and the judicial system, the charade, and everything. We saw it all. We are in a big mess. We're in a very big mess. We know that. And before we can get off these people's claws, this evil claws, it's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to be an easy thing. But we're trying. We're trying our best, and I think.
And we'll continue. You know what? You know what David said. David is like all options are now like out.
That's where I want.
Now, it doesn't make any sense to start telling people to start getting ready for another election in 2027. It doesn't make sense.
I want to pinpoint what he said because that young man made a very, very good suggestion and good observation. Yes. Yeah, it's like they've done. It's good that we're doing everything we're doing now because that's what the system is going to use against us later to say, why didn't you go through this process? Why didn't you go through that process? We've all gone through that process. We've gone through the answers. We've gone through the beavers. We've gone through the PVC. We've gone through the election. We've gone through. The only thing left now, according to him, is the Supreme Court.
It's just the Supreme Court, which people are not really optimistic about.
We know what is going to happen there. There's nothing different is going to happen. This guy has bought everyone. He's totally bought everyone. Yeah? The system is a mess. That country needs to be broken. It needs to be divided completely. We all know that.
God bless
everybody go their way. So we'll start from beginning. They cannot have said this many times. It's like people are just hating on the young man for nothing. They think that they're better people or than Nnamdi Kanu.
Is it not just 10 months? Sorry, is it not just about a year ago that if you are an IPOB and you are wasting your time, it's going to be more or less like you are caught in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
But today, those who will kind of tear you apart because you said the election cannot change anything.
Exactly.
Today, they are ready to embrace you and say, you know what, you are right. What should we do?
And IPOB has been vindicated. Nnamdi Kanu have been vindicated because he told them there's no point for this election. Nothing is going. PVC is not going to work. But it's good that we went through this process. As David said, it's very good that we went through it, so that and the whole world is seeing everything. So that when anything that wants to happen, when it starts happening, nobody will say, "Why didn't you go through this way? Why did you go through it?" Because every avenue has been exhausted. There's nothing left.
Right.
There's nothing left. So when the final thing, the final mayhem will hit Nigeria, nobody's going to blame anyone. Yeah?
And like I said, when it happens, right, it may not be televised in Nigeria, but it will be streamed live. On the streets. Absolutely.
Yes.
Adolf.
And I like it that the international community, all of them, they're seeing what is happening. They've seen us going through different processes. Even though they are denying most of them, even though they came and they said nobody died in NSAS or one person or two people died in NSAS. Even the Americans, they opened their dirty mouth and saying this when they know and saw everything that happened. So the whole thing is just a mess. It's a big mess. Yeah, but
it's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a big shame. But we'll see what happens.
It's you know what will happen last is that I've said this one years ago. I said at the end of the day, the system is going to collapse on its own self, right? Self-destruct.
That's where it's heading.
And it's almost that time.
That's where it's heading. That's where it's heading. That's what I'm saying. Self-destruct, because everything they have been doing has been self-destructive to them. It's been affecting them. The Bible said that what you have intended.
To me, I feel like universe, this life, is giving them opportunity every day to correct this.
They are not taking it.
But they are not taking it.
No. Every day. And one day, they are going to take the gun and shoot on their own foot. They will shoot themselves. They will do it themselves. And it's good that way, because no, you're not going to blame anyone. You did it yourself. At least you did it for you. You're not going to blame anyone. So everybody's fighting. Thank God for obedience. Thank God for P2B, because he has really exposed so many things. He has exposed so many things.
Whether he becomes a lot of things, and I think a lot of them are not even giving themselves the credit they deserve, because the whole world is trying to underplay what they just did in this last 10 months. And some of them are currently probably giving themselves less credit of what just happened. They don't understand why everybody's gaslighting them, hating them, calling them things that they didn't do. They have no idea what they just did this past month.
They did a great job. They did a great job. The obedience did a great job, because these are the real Nigerians. These are the people that want something to work. But the government or the system is making it look like they are the bad ones.
You know,
but actually, it's the government that is the bad one, and these people want the system to work.
They want a working system, and that's not too much to ask for, is it?
It's not too much to ask for. It's for the good of everyone. It's for the good of everyone. And in fact, the whole thing is, and I'm going to thank you so much for you yourself don't even have idea of what, probably don't have a full idea of what you're doing. The dedication, the research, like what the
like
other
what Chris
caller
said, right?
Yes, that's a good idea. What he said, he gave you very good ideas. The research, the things you do, and the way you come up with information every day, and this is not fake or biased information.
Like fake news or
real.
Something to sensationalize something. Of course, I've got my own bad mouth too, but most of the time, all filled with messages that will get everybody thinking, even when you are laughing.
I said everything you do because you are just like where I am. Because when my head is full, I can insult you. I can tell you anything. Yes, and this is exactly what Nnamdi Kanu, the way Nnamdi Kanu is, and people are fighting.
That's exactly what connecting more with people, and people connect with him as well. And others are wondering.
I said to them, forget about the way this guy is firing these people. If you are in his shoes, you would do the same thing. Listen to what he's saying. What is he saying? Forget about the insult and the abuse, which they deserve anyway. They deserve it anyway.
They do.
And the way you fire the elders, that's our old people. You the day I laughed that.
You remember that day, dear old people. I felt like I was in a trance, okay, because I was angry, and at the same time, I want to manage that anger so that I don't disrespect the good old people too. But I had to let it out. I had to.
It has to be done.
Yes.
No fear. No, not being scared of anyone. Speaking just the truth, right?
We're gonna die. Well, if we have a choice of choosing how we die, why don't we just make those choices?
Yeah. So the whole thing is, I will just say thank you very much for your hard work. I know it's hard work.
Thank you very much for the support as well. Because if I have no people who kind of dedicate their own time for all these hours, right? Man. There won't be any motivation anyway. I do actually speak better than myself. They probably don't get the attention I get. So I'm so grateful. I have to say that.
I don't even bother most times to research. I just wait for the time I come and listen to Mayegu, because he's suffered and done the job for me to listen to.
I know. I mean, there's somebody who is going to make you connect to the story better than just hearing it. And that's Mayegu. I do that.
Real information. That is, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You stay safe, Adolf, all right?
Thank you very much.
That's a good one from an observer, Adolf, okay? Not Hitler. I have another caller here. Hello there.
Oh, well,
finally. Baba.
Oh, well,
yeah.
First
Straight to. How you doing, Baba?
I'm very, very good, man. I'm doing very good. My name is Martinelli. I'm calling from.
Oh, is that you, Martinelli? I bet a lot of your friends in the comment section on YouTube right now will be so attentive. Oh, that's him, isn't? Let's hear.
Yeah.
How you doing, Baba?
This is Martinelli. I could do okay. I asked you to stop over for a cup of coffee, for a cup of tea the other day, but you refused.
Go for it now. Anyway, go for it, Baba.
Anyway, I'm just calling just to buttress what the last caller said about, things that are happening in the country and everything. I'm just, like everything
called it.
Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I have the same conversations with my friends every day. Like, I call Nigeria every day. I have family there. I have friends. I have relatives. We have people there, and for God's sake, like, I don't understand what is wrong with you people back home. I don't know how to phrase it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a British passport holder. What's his name? Omoyede Sowore is an American passport holder. Sunday Igboho is a German resident. Are you guys mad? Like, honestly,
like people will be saying the old thing no affect them if they choose to be like all of us.
Diaspora, and for fuck's sake, like they're diaspora, they're living here, and they left here. Come back home to your lawn. They came back home, and you locked them, and you're asking Mayegu to come back home.
Mayegu not come back. May all of us come back.
You're asking African Wala to come back home. Say, see winning.
Are
you sick in the head? Say mad. Are you mad? You're asking who to come back home. To come and
Martinelli,
do what?
Are they here? Light day here since I be no blink.
Say mad.
Wait.
Say mad.
Light day here.
Come back home and come and do what?
Martinelli. Now me, we say they see light 24/7. I should be the one to come and protest for those who are not seeing light.
Bro, are you guys like seriously? Say win, like seriously, are you sick in the head? Me, I'm sure some people actually know, but I'm from Benin City.
Yeah.
Okay. But I was just born in Benin City. I spent all my life in Lagos, and I spent some time.
And we are many like that, Baba.
Yeah, I spent some time in
the place into right now. You are from Benin. If they look at you, they will tell you to go back to Anambra. That's what Nigeria has become.
Baba, they told me to go back home already. You want to talk to me already? You know the funniest part?
All of you this IPOB. Go back to where you
told me that. The first people that told me that, the first people that actually told me that are people that we are living in London here together. I don't be London. A lot of them, they can go back home. Your people can never become the president. You are just angry because the people are not. Really? But let's break up the country. You are saying no, we should break it up. We should all sit down and suffer together.
Seriously, but you know one thing, Baba, Shebi, we have told them, if to say me and you, if me and you get that power to break up Nigeria today, say we know go think I'm twice, we go do I'm straight away, Abi.
Bro,
we all know me and you never get that power. But with the way these guys are going, go on.
My can shock you.
Yeah.
Me, I be soldier before I come out from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a soldier before I left Nigeria. You know this guy that calls it Ariba.
Who is that again? Say that again. Mohammed, yeah.
Yeah, I trained with Mohammed in Zaria. We trained together. I'm a soldier.
Really? Same Ahmed Dorada.
Yeah. Ahmed was my junior. Ahmed is 95. I'm 94.
Grand. That's grand. He's probably listening too.
Mobok Hakimi.
Go on.
Baba, you remember the major that was shot dead in Niger the other day?
Yeah.
He was 4 years my junior. I know him. He's my boy. He's dead. Mojubo boy, is my boy. Mojulo Dada. He's dead.
and then you are asking me to come back home and fight for you. Obuna Ogun go kill all of them.
Amen. In Jesus' name. Amen. In Jesus' name.
If I don't fight for myself, I'm shock you
get?
Because I'm not going to come back home. If you want a savior, Nnamdi Kanu is there, go and rescue him. If you want a savior, Showore is there, rescue him. You see that revolution that people are saying you don't want to fight. When you are ready, you see that Showore, you people will go and you will beg him, you will kneel down. Do you see the way people were doubling for dubious Dapo? That's the way they're going to double for Showore. And then you will beg him to come and lead that revolution because he's ready anyway. Me, I'm not ready to lead the revolution for anybody. He's ready. So when you people are ready, in fact, you can't ask him now, you have to beg him because he has asked you and you refuse. So now you guys are going to have to go back to that same Showore, go and beg
even
him.
If they didn't want to, if they don't want to, these people will force them to want to.
Revolting because even if you guys are born to suffer, by the time you guys are suffer, you cannot take care anymore.
You know, you
guys talk through, but in the meantime, Simba to board the diaspora has come back and rescue us. If you now hear that word again, see you there this round. When you come on the video, that's you go drink.
I mean, you let it out enough that you know people kind of love it when you mix it together. You know, when you mix Yoruba and the rest of that. Okay, so what happened there is that listen. If you are watching me from Nigeria, number one, there's something you need to know, even if people have not told you. You know me, I won't lie to you, okay? There is nobody coming to come and rescue anybody from the criminals in Nigeria. Now we're not go rescue ourselves. Now, it doesn't matter if you are scared. You don't want to die. I don't want to this. Yusuf, come back home. Come and lead the nobody is going to come back to lead anything. A lot of you will lead it. And it's not going to be because Mayegun said go and protest or Mayegun said, no. The diaspora, people stay abroad. They are telling us to go and protest. They want us to be killed. Baba, no. You hear what Martinelli said? There's some level of shege that you will see. And you begin to kind of fioriti. That means endure. Endure. In Yoruba means to fioriti, which is use your head to push it. You see, there's some shege where we say they'd be like hot plates. You know when you turn on your hot plate before you want to start cooking. Because you put your head on that hot plate and push them. You don't say first now for you now your hair go. You can't get bad. When you get bored, right? After that, now your skin go to peel. Then you begin to see your skull, the bone go. Then that bone itself go begin to begin to the shop, like your shoe. You know, when you walk with your shoe, it begins to shop until it becomes despair that you can't really use it anymore. And around that time, whatever is left, when your brain can't receive direct sun, and you realize that those who are asking you to stand up and fight for yourself, they are saying so because whether you like it or not, a time is coming that they won't ask you again. Because around that time, you'll be like, now only one life you have left. If they want to take them, they could take them. If you want kill us, kill us. What is left? That is the journey. That's where you are going to. And it is not a wish. Now, these criminals go push you to get to that stage. And when you get to that stage, if you see Showore photo, you go tear them and take a moment and say, God, please, help us touch the heart of Showore to call for revolution now. And even if Showore no call for revolution, a lot of you will become so many Showores. Those of you who wanted Nnamdi Kanu to be killed by these criminals, you will become many Nnamdi Kanu. And you'll be looking back and say, well, I never believed that could be like this. But Nigeria will make you become that. In case if you don't understand. Sorry, my caller. Martinelli then added it. That a lot of you are still waiting for people to come and save you. Jumping from here and there and asking people to come back home and do it for you. Listen, whether you like it or not, you will do it yourself. But in case if you are still waiting for them, now Ogun go kill you in Jesus' name. I thought I should let you know that anyway. So yeah, hello there.
Yeah,
Baba.
I was just thinking, right? If you look at the trend of things, right? You will say that the APC eventually will turn Nigeria to a one-party state.
That's the intention.
That's the intention. Because if you look at the trend of things, right? If you look at the election tribunal in order, apart from the presidential one, the House of Assembly and other senatorial one is going around other states, right? Other states, right? The PDP and the Labour Party winners, right? All their this thing has been annulled.
Yes, now they are removing them here and there. And guess what they are removing them with? Nomination problem. How they were nominated.
They are replacing that with the APC. That's you see, a lot of Nigerians never knew, right? They're talking about Nigeria being broke or whatever. They never knew that APC in their 100 days being in power, right? They've borrowed up to $7 billion already.
That's right.
You understand? And that $7 billion, right, is spread around, right, trying to manipulate and deceive Nigerians. Who is going to be paid will be paid. Even the international communities are paid. Even the G20 meeting they went to, they paid.
That's right. Lobbyists here and there.
Buying legitimacy. That's what Nigerians don't understand. You know, we are here for a very rough ride, you know. And it's very unfortunate that we are going through this rigmarole.
It is not even fair, Baba. It's unfair. Apart from saying it's unfortunate. Like, how could the world watch millions of people being subjected to this kind of a fraud that will impact lives of millions of people, and the world seems to give no damn? It's unfair.
Marigo, do you know the answer, the solution to all this problem?
Tell us.
Is we in diaspora. You won't believe what I'm going to tell you now.
I will believe you. Please tell us.
What I'm going to tell you now, right? Everybody should take it to record, right? We in diaspora, if you can remit 26 billion to one country, more than 80% the country generates, right, as a revenue from all the export, right? 26 billion every year to Nigeria, right? Then they will have the power of attorney, and the power of push, and the power of liberation, right, to free our country from this
an economic power. You are so right, too.
Yeah. So what I'm going to suggest now is we can use your platform. We can use your platform, right? To start. Yeah, we can use your platform, right, to start a movement, right, to redeem Nigeria. Listen, we don't have to be there physically. We can be. Look, we in diaspora can have a force, right, and have our foot soldiers in Nigeria. When I say foot soldiers, that's what Tinubu is operating with. He's operating with foot soldiers. And we can operate our own foot soldiers in Nigeria. Right? All we have to do is come together to a platform and try to change the political dimension of that country, right? Because that country, number one, the constitution is rubbish. The constitution doesn't hold water. You understand what I'm saying? And we can become a viable opposition to any government in Nigeria. Even Obi, we can become a viable opposition to Obi. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a very good idea. But like you said, you know, I have said this before myself, okay? I said, how could all of us who are living outside Nigeria be remitting over $30 billion into that economy? We are the one running the economy.
We are the one.
We have no say. We have no control. Everybody just talk to us like, say, we are just like that. Even the criminals who are looting the billions from the country, taking the money out of the country, they talk to us as if to say, just stay where you are. God has blessed you. Stay where you are. By making going back home almost impossible for a lot of us. So you are right. Until
you know what mistake we are making? Even the money we are remitting back to Nigeria, right?
Yes, sir.
They give it to them in Naira, right?
They do.
And they have agents, right, that collect the money here. I did with Lemonade Finance. I've done with World Remit and all these people. Right? You know who they give the money to?
Who?
The Nigerian banking institution, who are members of
them as well.
Them as well. So if you can form this, look, listen, we have to listen.
Yes, sir.
It's something we have to hold a conference. All of us in diaspora. We should come. You can come for the conference, right? We'll meet at the point. Yeah, please, because enough is enough, man. We're waiting now. What is happening?
You want to kill us now. We die. But until
some
then,
guys don't want us to block us, so we'll not be free for our own country again.
Una pull leg for our neck. You can't see the country say with the shout. Baba, waiting go.
Who are they? Look at Papi when having a monkey head.
Mo, leave it at that. Thank you so much.
We have to start with your platform. Look, I mean, support, right? We have to have a Zoom, something, right?
Okay, so if I'm very enlarged.
That kind of a thing, right?
I'll tell you how that work. I'll tell you how that work. Okay.
Yeah.
For example, when David suggested earlier that, you know what, is done with preaching to people, right? To go through the main channel, like this guy said. Now that people have gathered this experience with all this division, okay? So if all the influential people from every camp, like Showore here, Oloye here, other people who are like here and there. I'm just kind of randomly mentioning names now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
From all groups, if they now have this agreed, centralized platform of conversation, like you said, I can volunteer mine, but the purpose is just that where a consensus is reached, when a consensus is reached, with that, Baba, I think it will be much more kind of how do I put it? It will be more meaningful.
Michael, you know what I suggested your platform.
Yep.
I'm from Midwestern. I'm from Delta State, Midwestern State. I've called you before, right?
Yes, sir.
And I remember when Obaseki was talking about the plebiscite, how Midwestern State were created to plebiscite, blah 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 blah. Then they want to go on their way. The next day I saw Obaseki. Don Pedro Obaseki, he was at Asura going to see Buhari. After seeing Buhari, the guy shut up. He not talk again.
He no go. He no.
After they give him money, he don't talk again. No.
He go stop. So you're right. Once we begin to have the right people around, that will give it its life and it will give it its purpose, and it is possible. I agree with you. But
and I insulted him on Facebook. He tried to call me. I didn't pick his call. And if he's watching this program now, he will remember me, man. I'm the best. He called me. I didn't pick up his call because I knew, right? That kind of a thing, right? He sold out. He sold out. You know what I'm saying? So, Mayegun, we in diaspora, we know Nigeria, we need to go back to our country for Christ's sake, man. We are not cowards.
Exactly.
We love our country. We need to go back. Our children need to go back home and excel. You know what I'm saying now? So, at the end of the day, right, it's left to us, right, to have the financial power to change that country. Wait a minute, right? One thing that when they say they sold NNPC, right?
Yeah.
When they say they sold NNPC, Mayegun, sorry for saying so long, right? Yeah. When I've been in this country for 40 years, right? They sold their British Telecom. We all bought shares. They sold it to the public. They sold the post office. They sold it to the public. I bought shares in the post office. You know what I'm saying? How can they make NNPC
the National Oil Company of Nigeria? They sold it.
And they make it a limited liability. Sold it to who?
We don't know.
Even when they sold the power generation something, right? It's supposed to be to the public.
You know
what I'm saying? We in diaspora, look, we in diaspora can buy NNPC. If they make the shares open for the one we in diaspora can buy NNPC for $30 billion. We in diaspora can buy it
and own it.
And own it. And it's going to be belong to Nigerians.
Yes.
So why are they selling it to each other? You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't add up.
We don't even know how much See, we don't even know how much because the staff of NNPC, they are still being paid. After being sold, though, they are still being paid by Nigerian taxpayers. Can you even believe that? Person they work for Wema Bank. If they collect salary from First Bank, who does that? You sold NNPC. Should be the people who just bought NNPC. Should be the one paying the salary and everything, Abi. Nigeria still the right budget for NNPC. Nigeria still they pay the salary for NNPC staff. Nigeria is still allowing NNPC to collect crude oil royalty.
Crude oil royalty, yes.
About who does that now? Which kind of
who does that shit, man? And I was thinking when Buhari, I thought when Tinubu come in, he's going to say, okay, let's audit the NNPC.
You know?
Yeah, you understand? Nothing like that.
See, Baba, man, leave you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay? You've raised a very valid point, very important one, like many others too. One of these days, all of this will come to life. I mean,
we have to come together as people in diaspora and fight for Nigeria and do it in our own way.
Bless you. And you have a good evening, sir. Okay.
Through your platform, Mayegun, I prefer your platform because your platform is very educative, is very unbiased. Yeah, look, it's about being open. Your platform is very unbiased, very open. You are Yoruba man, you fight more for even the Igbos. That's what I'm saying. Even funny enough, I'm from Delta, right?
Yes, sir.
You see, there's something about the Igbos I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying now? But you now, you are very open, right? I'll tell you what I don't get about with the Igbos, right? When an Igbo man goes to a place, right, and establish a business, right, he won't employ the locals of that area. You bring your brothers from the village, even you want to employ the locals. That's what's fighting against them.
And from your own experience,
that's why
from your own experience, so which is actually legit, and that's why I said we should begin.
It's not legit.
I said your own experience is legit. Like you have your experience, right? From that your own perspective, because I have those who have also said, if not for an Igbo man that opened a shop in their street, they would never have gone to school.
No,
it was this. You know what I mean? I've had a lot. You know what I mean? But like you said, a platform that allows everybody to express how they feel.
I was watching your program yesterday when you play Ahmadu Bello saying that Igbo might want to dominate.
About dominance.
Yeah, and that is right. Ahmadu Bello is right on point. Don't forget that during the colonial period, right? Igbo people dominate all the ministries, even in the northern area.
But
they were the head of it. That was why Zik was the person. Azikiwe was the person that said that Nigeria, this is not negotiable.
I remember.
It was Azikiwe that said it. Awolowo said, "Listen, you are wrong. What you are saying is wrong. Every region is supposed to develop their own." Zik said Nigeria is not negotiable because Igbo people were the one dominating all the ministries in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying now? So you can't blame Ahmadu Bello on that term.
For that man.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
but after that,
you probably will open another conversation on this.
Listen, look, I'm from Delta, right? I love the Igbo people, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm very open-minded and I speak Yoruba. I grew up in Yoruba land. I went to the Awolowo free education, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Ibadan. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm a very neutral Nigeria, right? What is happening in Nigeria today, right?
My time is lapsing. I have to say, you know what I mean? Like I have to round up right now. That's why I said a conversation like this is going to be like a full topic some other time, and I hope I'm going to see you around and we can sort this whole thing, have a chat around it. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, stay safe. Okay. Thank you so much. I am so over the time, everyone, and I want all of us to remember one thing. Okay, and that thing is that. One way or the other, we've all agreed that this Nigeria that we have been forced to gather into, shouldn't have happened. Okay? Those who played this role or that role that led to Nigeria of what you have today, majority of them are dead. Ahmadu is dead. Azikiwe is dead. Awolowo is dead. So many others who have also done a lot as well after that, they are dead. So if all of us who have read a lot of this history, I want us to always remember that it is good not to be the prisoners of history, okay? If all you learned from them was all those shortcomings that led to this or that, the ideal thing for all of us is to do better. Learn from all those shortcomings, respect those boundaries, and yeah, everything will be fine. But I can only say mine, and I will never stop telling all of you that, anybody that is holding anyone down, you yourself, you are not going anywhere new. The situation we found ourselves in Nigeria today has gone beyond the stage of pointing fingers, even when we innocently want to do that. At this point, even when fingers are pointed, some truth could be had. The bottom line of it all is that in all of our efforts, in all of our thoughts, our plans, and our own conversations, including what we tell people or what we want people to know, is that, listen, from all you know, now that you know better, you should do better. Don't be prisoners of your own history. I know a lot of people a lot of you were not alive when the political play at the time, which led to political decisions of some of these men, and then finally led to what we have today. It doesn't make any sense for an Igbo man, okay, to keep a malice with a Yoruba man, especially in this 2023. It simply means, or for you to see a Yoruba man keeping malice with an Igbo man, a Fulani, and all of everybody who is keeping malice with themselves. A lot of you, these are coming from the history that you read, the history told you by your own progenitors, your own ancestors. So without all of us having to become prisoners of our own histories, do you get what I mean? Let what we learn from history is not to repeat the mistakes of those who are before us. So, and we can only learn from history, that positive side, and be part of that positive side, if all of us are actually not like the would-be hateful people. And it doesn't end. Eye for an eye doesn't, eye for an eye make the whole world go blind. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you how to think. In fact, for those who have been victims of the system in Nigeria, a lot of you whose, whose ancestors have been victims of this same divided Nigeria. I have not been in your shoes. I may never know how it feels like. But if you really want to heal from this, it's always going to be more or less like, I'm not saying you shouldn't or you should bury your history or whatever. I'm saying let us not inherit their enemies. Okay? If you can't inherit their friends, don't inherit their enemies. They lived their life at the time and they did what they thought was right. If all of us in 40, 50 years' time don't want to end up like our own ancestors, then we should do better, okay? Do not be prisoners of your own history. And I wish you well. Like this video, share it, and I'm going to see you some other time, okay? Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. olóṣèlú.
Máyégún màmí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.